My cat's name is Mittens.
Once again, guys, just getting set up, waiting for my co-host to jump up on stage with me, and then we can get rolling here. Share the room out, let everyone know that we're live, and if you want to join us up here on stage, just tap on the mic.
I'm just here to say I hope nobody takes advantage of Josh, but we know at least we can use his time here to answer some questions.
You can all take advantage of me. Full permission. Welcome in, Zach.
How's it going, everybody?
How's it going, everyone?
What's going on, Scott?
Scott, is it me or are we getting this train of products coming out? It's starting to chug along. Like, I think we've hit a couple deadlines now, and it's been very well received by the community.
It is definitely chugging along. We are. This is going to be a good year for us. This is going to be our year.
Yeah, swaps is. What do you say? We're at about 50% or so, or a little less, or?
Yeah, not 50%. It's 100,000 total that have access now. So we're getting to at least a significant portion of the community, and just for any swaps questions out there right now, we're going to be adding another 50,000 or so this week. And there's nothing you can do besides make sure your current account information is correct. One of the things that will slow down your adoption of getting swaps is by having inaccurate KYC information or an expired license. So be sure all that is updated and correct, and that will get you on the train to get these swaps. And then I also saw a tweet from Alex today that we're going to be doubling the limit for platinum users again, from 50,000 to 100,000, which I think is super sick.
So is that any tidbits for the Australians as to when Aussies might be getting some swaps? Is there any Aussies included?
No, I don't know the next regions they're getting access, and unless Scott or Josh would know, they're kind of going through that in their own strategy, but the whole amount of users we're adding each week has gone up drastically, and we'll continue with that 50,000 pace.
Yeah, I don't know the regions unless Scott.
For the swaps, was that the question?
Yeah, do you know the region, if there's any new regions that are going to open up this week?
No, I haven't been made aware of any for the new week, no.
Okay.
Nev, did you have any other questions, comments while you're up here?
Just to comment, everyone, wishing them a happy new year. Obviously, in Australia, we'll celebrate it sooner than most others, but all the best for the year ahead.
Copy that. Thank you. And another really cool development today, I got asked to join the Earn and Sell beta. So I think they're going to put me in that this week, and hopefully starting Monday, I will get my first rewards in Cel. Long time coming, very, very excited for this, and I think it's going to have huge implications for the token utility on the platform.
That is awesome. Make sure you let us know how it goes.
Yeah,
very much looking forward to the people doing that.
Can't wait to hear about that, Zach. Congratulations on that. Jason, welcome up.
What's up, guys? Quick question. Someone asked me to ask you from Discord. Do you have a date or a time when the next Chainalysis is going to be done?
That's a good question. I don't know it off the top of my head, but that might be something that Alex does know. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, we'll stand by and ask him when he comes in.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. Oh, and real quick, is the 50,000 on top of, or is it 50,000 going from now?
It's going to be another 50,000. So I think what it sounded like was this Thursday when we do the next update. the platinum limits on swaps will go from 50,000 where it's at today to 100,000 total per day.
Not the amount, the add-on.
Oh, an additional 50,000.
So on top of the 70.
We're at 100 right now total, and I think we're getting another 50,000 this week. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up, Jason. Any other comments, questions?
I have a question, guys. I'm an investor with Chainalysis like over 2 years, and for the past week, I'm trying to call customer care. They suspend my account and try to get it back. So, is there any way I can get my account back? Thank you.
Yeah. What's going on? What's happening when you call the customer care line?
So when I called in, they said they don't have access to suspended accounts. That's in Europe, and I sent them like 3 or 4 emails, and still didn't get any response from the team. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I never had any issue. I've been with them like 2 years.
Yeah.
I never withdraw or like I keep adding coins.
Could you please DM me your email so I can take a look at this, because that's definitely not right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they don't respond until now. Like it's been 5 days. I keep calling them and nobody has an answer.
Right.
I never had any issue. 2 years. I'm like nothing. And all of a sudden, like I wake up, I try to check my app and it says suspended. Since then, I can't access my account, and I have a lot of money in it. And I really, this is like a stress factor for me. It's like every day, see if I can get my account back or not, And this is, I never had this issue before, so I wish somebody can help me with this issue. So
yeah, please send me a DM with your email, and I can look in the system right now and maybe get an idea what's going on here. We don't suspend accounts unless it's something very particular, and I can take a look, see what's happening.
Okay, I'll send you my email. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, Big Mo. Next up is Discus Dow. What's going on? Unmute if you're speaking. Discuss Dow. All right. Are there any other questions in the room? Feel free to tap on the mic. Join us up here on stage. Also, share the room out. Let everyone know we're live. We're going to be running room here. Alex will probably be joining us around 9 p.m. as usual. But definitely, I hate to say take advantage, but take advantage of myself, Zach, and Scott while we're
I think it's very good to see the product team working so hard and like getting on track and having Tushar guide that team to get these recent developments out, having the accredited investor live, the beta going well, and that still planned launch for January 13th. Increasing not only the amount of people that we're adding to swaps, but the total limit to something that's really workable for almost everybody is also very encouraging. And then, just the other stuff that's taking place, CelsiusX and all that being on track for February. So I really do feel like we're turning a corner in our ability to launch and produce these new products and continue to innovate and continue to bring more and more value to the Celsius community.
Speaking about that, have you heard anything on the front as far as Onramps are concerned?
No, I haven't gotten an update. I know it's something they're working on. They did a small launch and ran into some issues. So I know that definitely delayed the fiat on-ramps, but I haven't heard an update on when that should be back online.
Damn, man, I really want to get my checks direct deposited.
I know, and it just make it so much easier to onboard. And really, once that's on, I really don't need any other crypto platform. I can drop Coinbase and Cash App and just do everything on Celsius and come in, get stable coins for 1 for 1, and then convert those to the other assets for free. So like that's the biggest deal ever.
Agreed. All right, looks like we've got a crowd up here on stage with us. TJT, I think you were the first in order. So what's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I saw the very first ad for Celsius probably about a half an hour ago, and it was on the Brave browser. So I had to look twice at it to make sure, but
Yeah.
that's something it's new. So I just wanted to let you know it's out there.
Yeah, we have done a few things on there, been testing a few things out. So it's good to see that you saw that. And so this, as I mentioned before, this year, we're going to be doing a lot more things. So a lot of good things to look forward to.
All right. Thanks. And have a happy new year.
Scott, I don't know what you can and cannot talk about, but is there going to be some creative marketing, or is it just going to be like standard, just pay per click or something, or I don't know?
Well, all I can really say at this point is we're allocating more funds now than we have in the past. So that's pretty much what I can say right now. But what we are going to be expanding a little bit more and putting more funds into marketing. So that's very exciting. And this is just one avenue. So
thank you for answering that. TJT, thanks for coming up and asking your question.
Sure.
Luke, I think you were up next.
Good evening, guys. My question is also dealing with fiat on-ramps. It sounded like they wanted to release it here in the U.S., the whole U.S. at the same time. Is that correct?
No, there's definitely a lot of people that have access, but still a lot more that are waiting for access.
So you said people already have access to fiat on-ramps?
Oh, I'm sorry, not fiat on-ramps. I thought you were talking about swaps. No, the fiat on-ramp, I don't think, again, it would be the whole country at one time, but we were doing our first beta group and we ran into some problems. So we have to resolve those before we can deploy it to more users. But in any case, it wouldn't be to, we're not gonna release a product to 300 million people at once. We're gonna do it to 1,000, then 10,000, then 100,000, and then 1 million, and so on.
Okay, I guess I misunderstood the AMA. It sounded like they wanted to do it, to 50 states here in the U.S. And since they couldn't do it because there were some regulation issues to a certain states, they basically put the pause button up until those were resolved.
Yeah, I think it also has to do with regulatory clarity, and there's a lot of sides to building these new products. One of it is the technical application. The second is the regulatory application, and getting those both correct in the majority of areas is huge, because we don't want to cause a regulatory issue somewhere that we're not allowed to operate, and at the same time we have to build the product out. But building the product is getting easier as we scale and we get more developers. And then there's still not a ton of clarity in the space, but Celsius always kind of plays on the safer side of the field. And hopefully we can get more clarity going forward so that we don't have these kind of delays and these kind of issues. But in this one, I think it was a little bit of both regulatory uncertainty with some locations in the US, and then still some things in the product that have to be figured out.
Two more quick questions on fiat on-ramps.
Sure.
Do you see that the rollout of those is going to be faster than swaps?
Yes, I think so, because it's not as complex of a product. It doesn't have as many risks. So something when we're dealing with swaps is, how many people are going to swap the maximum, and what is what are they going to swap into? Are they all going to move at once? There's kind of a lot of unknown behaviors. But with Fiat Gateway, we kind of, it's, fiat in and stable coins, and then from stable coins back to fiat. It's a much more simple product in that way. And there's no real issue with limits or volume. So I expect that to be a much faster rollout process once it begins.
That's good news.
Yep.
And last question on that. I understood that the Fiat Gateway was a partnership with Circle, the developer of USDC. Do we know an answer for Texas, since they can't receive that and they only can receive DAI? Does that mean they can't get fiat, or would they be able to get the on-ramp in DAI? That's my last question.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some sort of workaround and maybe on the back end convert that into DAI so it can be held in your account. But, I expect that to cause a delay specifically in Texas because of the rules there.
Awesome. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Yeah.
Thanks for coming up, Luke. Kibbs, I believe you were up next.
All right. Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my question. Kind of a good segue or continuation of the previous question with regards to the on-ramps. I have seen over the past, 6 months or so, there seems to have been some sort of a partnership or handshaking with Coti. And when you go to Coti's wallet, it links you back to Celsius. But I've never seen, unless I've missed something, I've never seen an actual announcement about what exactly this handshaking or partnership with Coti might actually be. And wondering if anybody can provide some clarification as to what's going on with Coti and Celsius.
That's a great question. I don't know off the top of my head what exactly we're doing with them. We have a lot of partners, and we do a lot of different things, but on Coti's, I'm not sure on what we're working on together. It may be something that's not fully announced yet, but I'm not sure what that would be.
Okay, fair enough.
Nice investigating there, Kibbs. Did you have any other questions while you were up here, or comments?
At the moment, nope. I appreciate your time, guys. Thanks a lot.
If you have any other questions, just tap on the mic. Reagan,
Cheers.
what's going on?
Hey, Josh, Zach, Scott. Question for Scott, actually. I understand there's a bit of a change recently in regards to the ambassador sort of program. I was wondering if you could shed some light into what those changes were, and maybe what your thoughts of what the ambassador program is going to look like sort of going into the future. Cheers.
Yeah, on this call, I can't go into the specifics because that is a company legal document, and that is for the ambassadors only. So that's I won't get into the particulars of that. But what I can tell you is that the company at the initial start, we were a startup basically, and we treated our ambassador program as such, where it was free flowing. It was very easy to talk about Celsius and what we were doing. There weren't any forms to sign or agreements to sign or contracts to sign. But now that we've matured as a company, our agreements, our programs have to mature as well. And the same is true for the ambassador program. So with the advice of our attorneys, there is an agreement now for the ambassadors, so everyone can be on the same page, and there can be some guidance and some rules and regulations as to how to behave as an ambassador, because they are in some fashion representing the company. So in order to protect the company, some things had to be put in place. So that's an agreement that has been put in place. Now, it is ever changing. So it's not That agreement doesn't mean that there won't be any other agreements or revisions or anything along those lines, but that is the one that we have put out for now, and we're constantly reviewing, constantly talking about it. So as things continue to develop further, we'll definitely let our ambassadors know.
Yeah, great. So sort of going into the future, what do you see a sort of an ambassador like? If you were going to onboard a new ambassador or someone that was keen, what would your sort of new pitch to be to try and get them involved?
Well, that's a great question for next week, because we do have some meetings about the ambassador program coming up this week. So as of today, though, I would say the same thing I've always said, that if someone wants to actively promote the Celsius app and talk about the advantages of the Celsius app and how we do things in terms of generating yield for people in comparison to the banks. I would say if people like what we're doing, then and they want to share that with others, then the ambassador program is a great place to be. And but as we continue to develop, of course, more news will be coming out for the ambassadors in regards to that.
Awesome, sounds good. I'll maybe hit you up next week for and see if there's any developments. Cheers.
Definitely, feel free.
Thanks for coming out, Reagan. Did that conclude your questions and comments?
Yeah, cheers.
All right. We got some other people coming up, but in the meantime, Zach, something stuck out to me during Friday's AMA, and that was Alex basically saying that we could be possibly looking forward to a Cel Token Roadmap. He did list a timeline, but I don't want to say for sure that that will be it or not. But have you heard anything on your end about this roadmap?
Yeah, so I got to talk with kind of part of the Cel innovation team, and got to go over some of their ideas and express some of the ideas that I've gotten from the community, some that we brainstormed in some other groups, and I'm very happy to see the developments that they're working on. They didn't say they were going to have a roadmap that soon, but maybe there's been a pleasant increase in the expected timeline. They did mention that Alex was definitely putting the pressure on and requesting this to be done as soon as possible, because he understands that the community has great incentives to know what's going on with the Cel token, its utility on the platform, and the future that it brings. So trust me when I say Alex is on all of our sides here, because he's very motivated by what he sees online and what the community speaks out about. So Cel token utility has definitely gotten to the top of the priority list. But I hope that we do see that type of roadmap in the coming weeks. It would be very excited. I'm very excited for that. But what I'm really most excited about is what is already in the works and US accredited actually coming online and being able to earn that Cel token here as soon as next week for some of the beta testers, and then I think the 13th for the general release to all US users, the majority of US users that are accredited. So if you haven't yet, log into the web app and get accredited. That's a really huge opportunity to support the community, and something that I'd propose to Scott on the marketing team is to see if we can kind of promote earning and sell as a way to support the community and make it a part of kind of the do good, do well mission, where we are incentivizing the community to support the community asset and the company at the same time, and all the other Celsians. So I really think that should be a core part of our message, and a way to participate in the community beyond just being a Celsian and earning yield or taking loans, but choosing to earn and sell when you can, across the board, for everybody. So I'm very excited to be earning all my stuff in Cel, especially that sweet Matic. I'm going to get that like 12%, which is just insane. and keep stacking those very limited Cel tokens floating around.
Speaking of those earn and sell for the U.S. accredited, the last we knew there were around 400 people that had been verified and good to go as far as accreditation. Are there any updated numbers, or have you seen that since last week?
Yeah, I don't have access to that number, but I know there's a ton of activity, and on myself on the corporate high net worth team, I've had a lot of people very interested, and I almost say it's a surprising amount of people that were interested. I thought that a lot of users would kind of be pushed off by Cel token, and it hasn't performed well this year, and that would kind of push some users away. But it seems to be a very strong excitement in order to earn and sell for the first time. So all encouraging signs around that I can see for this kind of revamped utility in the US.
Got it. Thank you for answering those questions for me. Ether Zach, I believe you've been waiting patiently up here. What's your questions or comments?
Oh, no worries. I just had a question. I understand if there isn't an answer to it because there may not be one, but I was wondering if you had insight into when loans can be available in certain jurisdictions where loans aren't available, and jurisdiction I'm referencing is in Nevada, where I can't take loans. So I was wondering if you had some insight into that.
Yeah, I just happened to talk to Tal about this when we were in Vegas, and it sounded like that one was coming up soon. She didn't give me an exact date, but it sounded like in the next 30 to 60 days kind of range for Nevada specifically. But in general, I don't know when these licenses are going to get approved or how long it'll take to get other states aligned. It's really, we're trying to operate in as many states as we can, but there's some places that require lengthy application processes. And then it's not only that, but there's a lot of upkeep to those applications as well. It's not like, you get your driver's license and it's good for 4 years and then you take a test. It's like some states have pretty heavy reporting requirements that have to be done constantly. So that's something we also consider, and like, how many customers do we have in an area versus how many loans we could get out of there versus the cost of maintaining that license, and then the time it takes to get that license and all those factors. So I think Nevada is going to actually come around the corner, but the others I don't have any information on.
Yeah, I completely understand, as I've been in mortgage banking previously, and it was very complicated, but I appreciate your insight and update. That's all I had.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us up here on stage, Zach. Matthew, what's going on?
Hey, this question's for Zach. We talked, I guess, last week about swaps, and it's just hard, that it's hard to see what price you're getting unless you break out a calculator when you're going from USDC to a coin like ETH or whatever. It shows you, one USDC is worth 0.0002 ETH or whatever. You were going to see if there was anything that could be done. The reverse works, but where you see the actual dollar amount, but when you're going out of USDC into the coins, if you had any update.
The only update I have is I mentioned it to the swap team, so I think it's something they're considering on changing. And I also realize it's going to be a problem with like today I did a swap from Bitcoin to Matic, and I was able to swap $1,000 worth, but I don't know. The only price I know is how many Matic I got for that $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So
right,
your situation is kind of, you would just have to show all prices of all assets in dollars at the same time, but it's still going to be kind of complex when you're swapping Bitcoin for Ethereum or any other asset to asset that's not a dollar-based asset. So we'll see if they can come up with a solution for that. And then the other thing I noticed was when you click the max button, it did 25,000 because that was the previous maximum, and now it should be 50,000 and then soon to be 100,000.
That makes sense. All right. Well, hopefully, I mean, I think most like exchanges and stuff, the BTC to ETH when you're swapping between, or buying and selling between two different kinds of coins, that's a little more complicated. I get what you're saying there, but
Right.
usually
Yeah.
just when you're buying in, and
They're
obviously
doing the
that'll
same.
be
It's like the same thing. It's just with USDC, we're kind of accustomed to accounting things in that value, so it'd
right.
be easier to do it that way, But the same thing is happening on every other pair of assets.
Right. You just got to break out your calculator and do a calculation within 3 seconds. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, the IRS really appreciates you doing all that math for them.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm trying to avoid. All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming up, Matt. Next up is Nathan. What's going on?
Hey guys, sorry about that earlier. I got rug pulled by my battery. So I actually kind of hesitated to ask this question because it makes me look kind of stupid, but I figured, there's many people that have swaps that maybe can learn something here. Swaps are supposed to be free, but the spread game is a difficult one. I totally understand that, but I came away with moving from USDC into Matic with about a $380 delta at the end of the trade. And, I noticed the price moved about a penny. It was only about $3,000. It wasn't a ton of money, but it was a material shift for me.
Yeah.
So I called.
That seems really high. Yeah.
I called customer support. They couldn't offer me any information. They said we don't charge fees. So what I was wondering is, I had done some swapping earlier to just kind of play with it. Is the algorithm set up so that, or is there an algorithm that, the more frequent your swaps, the wider the spread can become to discourage that? If so, I'm absolutely a victim of that. But I wanted to get your guys' take to see what I can do if I can, turn that $380 of stupid tax into some knowledge for me and other people.
Yeah, it's almost like it was like a 1.1 or 1.2% spread on that particular transaction, and I don't know if maybe you hit a low liquidity point in the market, or maybe our liquidity providers didn't have enough to sell at that time, and that's why you pushed the book up. But spread should be well under 1%. Should be like 0.25% or less. Even. So
yeah, I was pretty shocked to see it. And so the only thing that I would say, just by way of education for others that are listening, I'm not in the app right now, but down in the lower right hand sort of corner, just underneath the assets you're swapping out of and into, there is that value that will tell you how much you are going to be getting. Wait until that. I mean, it seems to.
Oh, that's like a 12% spread. I'm sorry, you did
No.
$3,000.
Yeah, it's not 1%. I was going to say it's over 10%.
Wow,
and I got the screenshots. I've got all of the stuff. I mean, I can verify it. It's
let's take a look
why
at that.
saying I didn't even want to really say anything, because it's like something I've done that's absolutely insanely stupid. And maybe it's just I hit the stupid lottery that day. I have no idea.
Did you see the price before you confirmed that? Were you watching that, or you just did the swap?
I did. It went down 1 penny. So it was 302 or 202 at the time, and went up to 203 or something like that. It was Matic is what I was buying.
Yeah.
So,
could you send me those screenshots and then maybe I'll bug Wasim and see if that's something he could look at, because that's definitely way, way too high.
Yep, for sure. I absolutely will. And thanks so much, guys. I wanted to, at a minimum, if we could, just learn from I know you guys are brand new in this, and I'm excited. Everybody's sort of way pumped about this. Want to make sure that people understand that free is as free as you guys can make it, and not necessarily. I mean, there's still market dynamics that are in play there. If you can help me get to the butt of that, Zach, I don't expect it, but you are the man.
For sure. That's not right. We'll take a look at that because I mean, the spread should be 0.25%, 0.1% or less. Like it's very, very minimal. So let's take a look at that and see what's going on.
Nathan, that concludes your question and comments.
It does. And other than that, just keep up the great work, you guys. Big supporter, you know it, and as you know, and thanks so much for everything.
You're my ride or die, Nathan. Luke, you're up next.
You know what, baby.
Yeah, I just had a quick comment, maybe suggestion. I know in the community page in the app, we can see the percentage of people earning in Cel. What would really be interesting, especially with all the accredited investors soon to be able here in the US to earn in Cel, could we add maybe to the website where we got the top 500, put a percentage? What is the percentage of the top 500 that is earning in Cel? That's my suggestion.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I know I'm hoping to get an answer from Nuke on exactly how we calculate that earn and sell. I'm gonna ping him again actually right now to see if I can get that. But yeah, that would be kind of a cool like community. Gosh, what's our other not the community page, but the more in-depth data.
Proof of community.
Proof of community. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kind of piece of statistical information, and really to get more information on like total assets earning in Cel. I think that's really the most important measure. It's not just how many people are earning in Cel, but how many dollars worth of the assets or the total pool is earning in Cel. I think that's really the most critical number.
I would agree with that. Total overall is the most important number, but because the top 500 is in a lot of cases founders, people that worked with Celsius or early Celsians, so they accumulated at an early price. It would be really cool to see those pioneers, those foundational Celsians, what percentage of them are earning in Cel. That's just my thinking.
Yeah, no, I could see that, and that would kind of be cool to know for confidence reasons, and then the total assets is kind of like the fundamental growth of that utility. So yeah, let me make that suggestion and see if it can be added. We also just added a lot of new information on the community page on the mobile app, and really the mobile app is so beautiful. The UI there is extremely well made, and I recommend everyone log into their account and check out app.celsius.network and see the community page. Almost everything is in there. Swaps is in there. I think loans are the last thing that have to be added, and it'll be basically as fully functional as the phone app.
That concludes my comment. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming up, Luke. Hardy Sailor, you're up next.
Oh, hi, everybody. Happy holidays. A few things. You can tell me if it might be for Alex later, but I thought I'd go first asking about what the state of insurance is. We've got three parts. Insurance, the accredited investor status. I tried to use the app to do earn and sell, and it said I wasn't. A red flag came up and said I wasn't accredited.
Sure. Let's do one at a we'll do one at a time here. So insurance, I think is not something that won't come out until Q2, Q3 next year. It's kind of been put behind the credit card and Celsius X. And then accredited is about to go live in a couple weeks. To get accredited, you either go to verifyinvestor.com, you go to an accountant, your attorney, or you have several million in assets with Celsius already. And then you submit that information on the web app. There's a badge right when you log in for accredited investors. And then we will verify you within 48 hours. or let you know if you are verified or not in our system. And then once that happens on the 13th, we're going to be launching the earn and sell for US accredited, where you can choose to earn and sell. And that's how I'm saying, like, there's a lot of people coming out of the woodworks that are very excited to earn and sell token.
Yeah,
that's
I
how you'd
tried
be able
to
to
do
do
it.
it.
Okay. So, but I'm already, I mean, I know I'm accredited. I've probably done it twice. Do you think I have to redo it again, or on the system, would you verify it?
No, you could use that same paperwork. We want to make sure that it's applied to this process we have now. So just log in to the web app and app.celsius.network and click that verify button, and then you'll get verified
Okay.
with that paperwork you've done, in the last 6 months or so. And then here in a couple weeks, you'll be able to turn on that earn and sell and start earning those sweet yields in Cel Token.
Nice.
And
Yeah, just
I'm gonna
last
keep
one.
I'm gonna keep
Sorry.
repeating sweet yield. I'm seeing it start to catch on with some people, so I'm gonna catchphrase that.
Well, just the other thing, I think you guys did the AMAs have really improved over the last, I guess, 4 episodes, and last week's was particularly good. You got a nice flow going, so I'm glad to be re-engaging with those and learning a lot. So good job.
I
Thanks.
appreciate that. Tom appreciates that. Shaq appreciates that. Everybody appreciates that. We really do put a lot into the show. We spend an hour beforehand just going over everything. And then another hour and a half on the show. And then throughout the week, we're putting together updates. Bethany messages everybody and collects all this stuff. So there's a ton of work that goes into that AMA. And really the objective for the AMA every week is to inform the community and deliver. And that's what Alex pressures everybody on, is what are we delivering for the community this week? And, a week is really not a long period of time, but it's also not a short period of time. So, every week we're trying to put out a handful of things that benefit the user, right? That bring utility to the token and encourage the community and do trust deposits. And that's really the goal of the AMA each week.
Yeah, well, thanks. Appreciate it. Good job.
And then was there a third thing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, no. Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks for going up, Hardy Sailor. Boyd, what's going on? Boyd, if you're trying to speak, unmute yourself. All right, Norm.
Actually, I'd ask Hardy Sailor if he is actually a sailor. I used to be in the maritime industry. It'd be interesting to know if you are and what you do.
Oh, well, that's not it's a dream. I'm waiting. That's why I was one of the guys that needed 21 so I could get my sailboat, my big sailboat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I've got little ones. I need a big one.
No, I gotcha.
Norm, go ahead. You're up next.
Hi, good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Hi, Jack, Zach, Josh, Scott. What Luke suggested, I thought he was going to suggest. He suggested the top 500. But what I thought he was going to suggest was I think that's a good idea, but I think if you could identify when it gets going, the percent of U.S. accredited that are earning and sell would be a good thing to see, because the U.S. accredited earn and sell is a little different category of people, because there's that one year lockup on the sell, and it may affect the percentages. So I thought that might be a good idea.
Yeah, that one's going to be tough because the accredited in the U.S. is kind of biased, because someone could be accredited, but if they don't want to earn and sell token, then they may not identify themselves as accredited in our system. So it's going to be kind of hard to see, get a true number of actually how many accredited there are. But we could identify who does whitelist themselves. We could kind of give a number of that, but I think that'll be biased high because a lot of people are getting accredited now for the first time so that they can earn and sell. And it's not just because they're accredited.
Yeah, and those people would bring the percentage up.
Right.
But it seems that if you know who's accredited, I mean, I see I'm accredited now on the site, so the people would see that as well, and they'd know they could do it. So the percentage of those people who could do it would be I would think, a good thing to see. Anyway, that's just a thought. The thing that I keep thinking when I'm listening to these comments is there's a huge focus on increasing cell utility, and there's a huge focus on hiring developers. To me, and I've mentioned this a number of times, I'm in with Celsius to earn on my crypto, to earn yield, to earn a percent of my crypto that you hold, that you lend out and earn money on, earn yield on. So that to me is number one. And so what I'm looking for is the hiring the people that can loan out those tokens to institutions and stuff. The group that it's in New Jersey, I think, the group that to find more people to loan out to increase the earn percent of the community. That's what I'm looking for. Just my comment.
Right, I can understand that. Like, of course, we want the highest rates possible, but I think what we're running into right now is kind of the risk barrier that we want to take as well. It's not just finding more parties to lend at 9 or 10% so we can pay 8.5%, but do we want to increase those parties based on risks? Do we want to take riskier bets? Do we want to work with riskier partners? And those are all things that Celsius has always been very conservative with. And there's very little risk you want to take when you're earning 3, 4, 5, or 8% on those assets, because if there is something that happens, then the loss can be much greater than the risk taken. So I think we're always going to remain on the conservative side and the protective side, and trying to find those suitable partners and those suitable opportunities to deploy is not going to be easy, but we've been able to scale this from $1 billion to $25 billion without any major issues. So I think it's just something that we're going to be able to grow slowly and gather those partners. And there may be more lending opportunities out there right now, but we have to be very careful where we deploy these assets, because the yield is great, but if something happens or there's huge market activity and people get liquidated or things start getting wacky, we've got to make sure we have strong partners that make good their loans or return those coins and don't put the community in any kind of risk.
Yeah, and if I could just add, Norm, it's not a matter of manpower as far as what you're interested in. I actually just got to speak with that team you're speaking about a couple of weeks ago. It is more what Zach is saying, the level of risk we're willing to take versus not. Because we could always just go to DeFi and make absurd interest rates, but there's a lot of risk to that. So it's not a matter of power.
Yeah, of course. I'm not suggesting increasing risk at all. I'm just kind of thinking there are people out there maybe that might be looking to borrow that have a low risk, high level companies that you haven't touched on before. And of course, keep the same requirement to prevent the risk. I just think that so you're saying, Josh, that more people couldn't find more risk-free partners, if you will, call them. I don't know what you call those people. Customers, I would think.
Well, I mean, we already have our business development team, and we have a team of people actively trying to find these new markets. But, I don't know if we doubled that team, if we'd find double the opportunities, or if we need double the opportunities right now. Again, it's like we can deploy. Maybe the reason the rate is 8.5% is because we can deploy the vast majority of our assets at that 9.5%, 10.5%, and then it evens out to a acceptable rate with an acceptable amount of risk. But there may not be a lot of opportunities out there to lend much higher, or those opportunities are much more risky. Because on the other side of the trade, you have the supply side, and there's more stable coins coming to the market as there's more providers, then people want to pay lower rates. They don't want to pay the highest rates. So Celsius has to do this balance of the counterparties we work with and the risk we want to take, and then the rate that we receive for our community. And it's not just finding more partners that will pay higher rates, because a lot of people don't want to pay higher rates because they could just get those coins at a lower rate somewhere else. So, it's the market demand and then the market conditions too, right? If we start running up another bull run, we could very easily see stablecoin rates go to 10, 12% like they have before. And in those market conditions, maybe it makes sense for borrowers to pay that much, but it really is a risk balance thing, as much as it is a business development, which we do have that team, and it has been growing over the past year. But I just don't think it's something we talk about, because they've been really good at getting deployment strategies, and our rates, especially in stable coins, have remained pretty competitive. Again, not the absolute highest. You could always find a higher rate somewhere else, but then you get into the risks involved and the stability of the company of all that, and that's where you have to decide where to deploy your coins.
Okay, I understand. You've grown from 1 billion to 30 billion or whatever it was. I kind of feel that team should be growing at that same kind of proportion, because they're the ones that have to lend it out. And that's where I don't see I just don't feel it. Like, I see the clarity of the Cel Token utilization, and I see the looking for the developers. And the reason I joined Celsius was because of the highest yields I could get, or the highest earn rates, I should say.
Sure.
And I want to stay there, but I can't do it when I can. I mentioned that before, but that was my comment. I just wanted to
let me see if I could find a number on how much the business development team has grown this year.
That would be good to know, and it'd be good to focus on too, I think, because a salesman, they're sort of like salesmen. They're going to go out and try to find people that have a need and are reliable, and it seems like the more people you have making the calls, the more you might have that opportunity.
Did that conclude your thoughts up here, Norm?
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. I'll drop back down to listening.
No problem. Welcome up, Socknug. What's going on?
Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm super excited to hear that all these Celsians that are accredited are going to be able to earn and sell shortly. Kind of just had one question on the accredited side of things. So I see you can take that Series 65 to become accredited, but you still need like a investment firm to issue you the U4. And the status of like how you get that U4, whether it be an existing investment firm or being an internet advisor, I believe, is a popular one. Celsius doesn't make the distinction or care how we come about to that accredited status, right? Like you get it through an LLC or that.
I mean, if you can get accredited legally following those rules, then that's all good. And if it's something legitimate, then we would take that. Doing it the Series 65 route can be a little tough because you have to have that sponsoring counterparty. But if you find a solution that works for you, then it should work for us as well.
I understand. And then I guess the other two things I was just kind of curious on is I know that Sol has been kind of slewing about the talks recently. I didn't know if there was any more updates. And Scott, I wanted to ask when the next time I can make an ambassador meeting with this holiday week. I know they're usually on Saturdays.
Yeah, we had a meeting earlier already because of the holiday weekend, but I'll be emailing out information on the next one.
Cool. And then any Solana news?
I know it's someone we're working on, but I don't have a launch date yet.
No worries, all good. I was just more wondering because I know Phantom is coming out with their mobile wallet sooner than later, so I just wanted to know where we're at because we provide a great mobile service.
Did that conclude your thoughts up here, Socknote?
Yep, that's all from me today. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Hope
thanks
you
for
have
joining.
a great New Year.
You too. Hardy Sailor, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. This is my fourth item. I still can't remember the third, but you triggered something, Zach, when you talked about the risk of where Celsius deploys the coins. And I can't remember the name, but it was in the news, was it 3 weeks ago, where Celsius took a hit on losing some BTC on a DeFi
Badger
platform? DAO, thank you.
Yeah,
So
Badger DAO.
my question is, were we deploying there to get to turbo yield, enhance yield, accelerate yield, or is this a test case? What was the whole scenario around why we were there?
Yeah, we're just deploying their assets there. And part of the reason why we deployed there is because they have a insurance fund that's well capitalized. We use a number of DeFi protocols to raise yield, but again, we do that in a risk adjusted way where we don't have 50% or 75% of our assets deployed there of various protocols because it tends to be more risky. And so in this case, there was an attack on Badger DAO, and they had funds stolen, and so now we're in the process of recovering some of those assets from their kind of insurance pool that they had. And again, that went into the calculation of if we should work with them or not. When they have a reserve like that, it builds confidence.
Okay, thanks for that. And does that, without any giving away secret sauce, this pretty traumatic event, I mean, it actually probably hurts the brand more than it actually hurted the yield or the financial security of Celsius, but is it changed the outlook on this kind of outlet for enhanced yield?
I mean, I wouldn't call it enhanced yield. It's just one of our yield strategies, and I'm sure that we're going to have to do some different auditings, and it's going to help us understand which platforms to better work with in the future. Kind of reassess the ones we're working with now, but again, there's always going to be some level of risk. None of this is free, and we just have to be very cautious on the level of risk we take and identifying that risk as it comes along. So, with the size of our asset pool and the deployment we have, even with that loss, even if it's temporary, it's a lesson that we have to learn from, and then also it's important to understand that the health of a company is very, very critical to these things. If Celsius was not profitable and losing money every quarter and didn't have money, then a loss like that could be devastating. But because we're a well-run conservative organization financially, it kind of protects us from those types of things. And again, we're not always going to pay the highest yield on every asset, but there should be a lot of other considerations you take when trusting your funds with a company instead of just squeezing every basis point possible.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I'm with Cel is besides just the user interface, the great app and how easy it is. I don't have the time or the wherewithal to try to get that extra yield that some people want to go for. It's too complex. I've been burnt before. I've been scammed. And so I'm quite happy there. And so I hate to see the brand take a hit. That's all, because it's already tough out there, as you guys know better than us. But Thanks. Appreciate it. I'll sign off.
Yeah, some things are going to happen, and of course, we want to avoid those as much as possible and recover those things when they do. But that's why you have to consider the health of the company, and their strategy and their philosophy, right? If we are in a position that we're trying to get as much money as possible, maybe the response would be different. But in this case, no user was affected. Everyone was made whole, and that's part of being in the Celsius community.
I remember number 3 now, and that was the I'm in Texas, and let's say I get accredited. Everything's copacetic. Is Texas still tough for in-app swap?
I don't think it's too tough for in-app swap. Besides, we have to block stable coins, and being accredited, I don't think it'll change anything there. But earning in Cel will give you that extra earnings boost. But I don't think it will be a major slowdown on your access to swaps.
Okay, so I was given it was a promo code. I got like a $20 USDC, and then I got a letter from y'all probably 2 weeks ago saying, would you please, move it out because you're in Texas and it's not allowed. And I'm just waiting for this swap so I can move it out, but I may not be allowed.
Yeah, I would withdraw that USDC.
Okay.
To a Coinbase or whatever, and exchange it for another asset, or hold it there. Just because, again, in Texas, we're not able to support most stable coins besides DAI in Texas.
And I know you have Wasim and Austin. Is there any chance we might get an update on these various? It'd be nice maybe as an AMA because New York gets hit. I know we know UK gets hit. California got all the love finally, but Texas and a few other states are still. So my question is, do you guys lobby, and is there an effort that's, trying to work with these state governments to be more crypto friendly?
Yeah, actually, Wasim and Gabe and a few others went to a session of the Texas legislature a while ago, and kind of did some education and guidance there. But, these laws are ingrained, and it's very hard to change things, which can be both good and bad. So, I think Texas is trying to position itself to be a very pro-crypto state. And I'm hoping that those roadblocks will get moved out of the way once they realize how onerous and unnecessary they are.
No, fair enough. And sorry, one last comment. Alex posted a link to a paper on Seeking Alpha. I didn't realize how old it was. I think it was early November. Guy named Derek Tanner wrote quite a long tome about Celsius, which was great. And it's like the only place you can get, let's call it technical financial data on how Celsius operates, like a white paper. So I would encourage more of those to generate basically comments and thoughts on Seeking Alpha, because it is a popular platform for stocks, as you guys well know. And I miss Joshua Tao. I know he's over with you guys. Haven't heard from him, but he was referenced in that paper, and didn't realize how much I miss Josh now that he's gone since, I guess, June, July. Nothing's been updated.
Well, we hired all the best analysts. They're all working for Celsius now. So it's kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. So
fair enough. Fair enough. But it was a good article. I'm glad you posted it, Alex. And yeah, it'd be good to see every once in a while one of those pop up, because it does make the boomers and the millennials happy, because that's where we go for security type information. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. I'll sign off.
Thanks for coming up, Hardy Sailor. Alex, welcome in. How are you doing tonight? How's your holiday been going?
It's been a holiday? I didn't know that. I was working around the clock.
Well, hopefully you get to relax soon. So,
I'll get plenty of sleep when I'm dead. So,
nice. This past Friday, there's something that stuck out. I brought this up earlier, but I want to hear it from you. You spoke about the Cel Token Roadmap coming soon. Are there any developments on that? Can you speak on that for a second?
Yeah, so we'll be giving a much more detailed plan this Friday on the AMA. The team has been working on all prioritizing all the 400 and something items, and I feel good about it. I mean, we have a good plan of what we can do like right away. Like right away means like next month, and then Q1, and then the rest of the year. So we'll be basically sharing it with everybody on Friday.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure a lot of other Celsians are as well. Zahari, you're up next.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Two update questions that I have, and then one kind of technical question. But the update questions, is there any update on the timeline for fiat on-ramps into Celsius? And then also reoccurring with the swapping feature, I'm wondering if there's a plan to have like a reoccurring purchase. Like right now on Strike, you can buy hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. Is there going to be something like that inside of the swap feature?
No reoccurring yet. But I'm waiting for. Basically, the reason we have an on-ramp delays is one of our vendors, they basically couldn't do what they were supposed to do, so we have to re-engineer that. We have to get around it, and so I'm waiting to hear when that could be finished, and then we can give you guys a hard date. Obviously, it was supposed to be by the end of December, but it looks like we're gonna push it into second half of January. So it's gonna be the third or the fourth week of January. That on ramps are gonna become available. And again, same thing with the third Amigo earning and sell. We have over 500 people who already registered and verified themselves as accredited. Again, it's not measured by number of people, unlike swaps where it's kind of like whatever, $25,000 per person limit, and 100,000 people are using it or whatever, so we know more or less what the usage is. The earn and sell for US accredited has to do with the amount of money that you have. Like, so if you could be one person with $100 million, right? Basically earning more sell than 1,000 people with $10,000 each or whatever, right? So we what we measure it in is how many dollars out of that $10 billion that is accredited, estimated to be accredited, how much of that is going to earn and sell, and we'll be publishing those numbers, so everybody's going to know how many people signed up, what does it mean in dollars, how many more cells we're buying, how much more we're burning. So I think it's important you track the weekly burn, because it's a 10x multiplier. If that weekly burn is going from, it was 50 something thousand, now it's 60,000, suddenly it becomes 80,000 or 100,000, that is the indicator, because 10 times we bought 10 times as much sell, right? And that really tells you how fast are we accelerating because of the US users choosing to earn and sell.
Good info. And then one technical question, Alex, if you're able to comment. I know that there's a pretty significant use case of Chainlink within Celsius now with Celsius X. How does Celsius secure those data feeds? Are you needing to purchase Chainlink, or is this like a early use case where you don't have to do that?
No, we are using, like, one of the ways that we are using a Chainlink is recently when basically almost all of crypto had a problem with because they buy feeds from CoinMarketCap. Celsius had no issues, right? So almost every one of our competitors had an issue. And because Celsius is using Chainlink, which is, everyone, we use multiple oracles there, and each oracle there has like 20 something sources of data. So we did not have, just because one source got corrupted, our feed didn't get corrupted, because that's the whole point of Chainlink, is that it makes sure that if any of the sources is compromised or does not provide real data, they just basically kick him out and use the rest of the data sources to provide accurate information. So our partnership with Chainlink is on many facets. Obviously, CCIP, using oracles, a bunch of other things, and we plan to, we pay for their services; they're not free, and we plan to expand our use of everything they're doing.
Appreciate that feedback. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming up, Zahari. Next up is M. Riddle. M. Riddle.
Thanks, Josh. My question is regarding the accredited investor. I got the paperwork and I submitted my paperwork online, and then today I got an email back that that was not accepted, and looks like a letter or certificate has to come from a qualified lawyer or a CPA or verifyinvestor.com or earlyiq.com. So I wanted to know, like earlier Zach was saying that, as long as you have the paperwork, you get approved. So can you shed some transparency and clarity on, what are the restrictions? Or, doesn't make sense to me.
Well, who did you use for the certification?
I used
Which
a
service?
broker dealer by the name of accredited.am. So they approved it. I have the letter, and they have a key where you can go and verify all the status. So I don't know why that was not accepted.
Yeah. I don't know that specific service. I'm thinking of how, where do you send it to? So,
would you be willing to go to Verify Investor and go through their process? I know that's just a provider that's worked for us in the past, and then we could even figure out what's going on there. But it may be that service provider we're not accepting, but Verify Investor is someone that we have worked with extensively in the past.
Yeah, but my point is, why should be I incurring a fee of $69 for verification? All other, I invest in multiple platforms, in a lot of crowdfunding. All the platforms are accepting that certificate. So why there is this, restricted list of approved?
Yeah, we can ask to see why that specific was not passed. If you could DM me your email, I can go back and ask the team why that was not verified and what they're looking for and what's going on, if we have an issue with that service provider or what's happening.
Sure, okay, I can do that.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming up, M. Riddle. Lucia, you're up next.
Hi, hey everybody. Nice to see everybody and hear everyone's voice. Happy Celsian over here still, and I did a couple of swaps last week. I moved some little bit of Litecoin over to USDC and a tiny bit of Bitcoin Cash over some assets I had around for a while and thought, well, might as well put them to work. Which was great, except I ended up with a little bit of dust, like a 0.000011 Bitcoin Cash and 0.000 whatever Litecoin. And I wondered if there was a way of sweeping that dust into Cel Token or something, because it's just sort of sitting there gathering dust.
Yeah, so one of the Lucia, one of the Cel utilities that we're trying to do is kind of automatically sweep all the dust into Cel.
Awesome.
Especially for a creditor who can now earn in Cel. So that's a feature that we want to do. So I just have to see. I don't have when they schedule it yet. So the minute I have it, we'll tell you on this date. You'll be able to. It's just a button that you put on, and it will basically automatically once a month sweep all of your dust into Cel.
Okay, good. That's great. I like things to be tidy, you know.
Yep, we like
Keep
it
things
too.
simple. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks, Alex, and thanks, Josh and Zach and Scott and everybody. Good to hear you all.
Sure. Happy holidays.
Same to you.
Thanks for coming up, Lucia. Tecmo, welcome up.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Alex, hope you got to spend some time off. I know you're busy, just like Scott. I feel like you guys work all the time, so I hope you got to take some time off.
Well, we had a big party. I posted that. We had like close to 100 people in my house, and I don't know how. No one got COVID, so we tested everybody. We had what am I? I'm going on vacation actually in a few days, so I'm excited about that.
Maybe that's another Cel utility is protect you from COVID.
Yeah, right. But I'm in the Hamptons, not too bad. I'm gonna be doing the AMA from here this Friday, so I'm trying to have I have 4 of my 6 kids here with me, and I'll try to spend some more time with them this weekend. So but all good. No one is sick. That's the most important thing.
Cool. I saw your wife got to enjoy the Knicks game too. She looks like she tweeted out. So, speaking of wives, real quick, you tweeted out the most coins contest thing about showing off, how basically swaps kick everyone else's butt. And I put together one comparing crypto.com and showing their withdrawal fees and stuff like that. And I think you and Tushar even talked about it on the last AMA. I didn't know. My wife was really excited, thinking we were going to win. And then I think it just kind of never got announced. So I didn't know.
We haven't. We'll launch it this week. So if you have it, if you tweeted it.
Yeah, so I tweeted it last week, right after you tweeted that thing. So I don't know if that still counts.
Yeah, so I just followed you, and we'll make sure to. Let me see if I see it here.
Yeah, I just want to tell my wife because she's like, "Did we win? Did we win?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know."
Yeah. I'm looking at your feed. I guess you tweet a lot, so it's not that easy to find.
I DM'd it to you too, so you can just go there
if
you want.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to go find that, but
this man was determined to win, Alex. Okay, yeah. Determined.
Listen, hey, you put the work in. There's nothing bad with getting us to.
Zach knows. I pestered him about it. Zach retweeted it too, so you can go to his feed.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he was DMing me on Friday, and this week too. So this man is on top of it.
All right. So here we're gonna
more like his
Zach,
wife is on top of it.
We're gonna give Zach a job of collecting all the things for Friday, right? Collecting all the candidates, and then we'll
see. Now I feel bad. Now
instead
I
of
gave Zach
who's
more work.
Who's the big loser, we're gonna see who's the big winner.
All right, thanks guys, much appreciated.
We should do both of them, Zach. Because of COVID, we're gonna do like who lost the most weight since COVID and who earned the most ended up with the most coins because of swap.
Celsius can be like an all-around thing. Improve your financial health, improve your physical health, improve your spiritual and your relationship health. Like it's Celsius is a wholesome experience.
That's right. You know that show, wife swap, where you swap your wife for like few days with some strangers. So maybe we should sponsor that. That would be our It's it's only for a few days. Then you get her back. Like it's makes you appreciate her more.
Okay, yeah. Let Chrissy know, and we can see what her response is. She can be the first one.
I think she's gonna swap me first before I swap her. So
Nice. Tecmo, thanks for joining us up here on stage. Derek, I believe you're up next.
Hey guys, happy holidays. My question is about the Cel token. I'm looking at it, I'm going through the accreditation process right now. I think it's a compelling product. My question is about the funding rounds that Celsius is going through and whether or not it's your intent to IPO, either through or to go public, either through IPO or SPAC. And if so, what would the Cel tokens become? Because based on looking at the accreditation process and sort of how it functions, either paying employees, and it kind of looks like stock-based compensation. My question would be, would Cel token more or less be convertible to shares of Celsius, or do I have a total misunderstanding of that process?
Well, again, we're treating it as if it's a security already, right? That's what we're going through all of the. So I would think of it more as like an A stock and a B stock than converting it into something else. So again, we obviously our entire community or most of our community is one way or another earning in Cel or on Cel. So we are, it's a anchor of what Celsius does. But I wouldn't. It's not like it's. We don't want to get rid of it. If we convert it into stock, then it will. We're gonna lose. We're not gonna have Cel token. So the point is to have, again, an A stock and a B stock, right?
Yeah, that does kind of get at my question. So and believe me, I'm extraordinarily happy with what you guys are doing. I'm a convert over from BlockFi, and I'm not going back. And further, I'm very optimistic on what you guys are doing, especially when you rope in Celsius X and the swap functionality. Looks like you're going to be competitive with exchanges as well, which I'm really excited about. I'm not sure what the relationship between Cel token and the shares might look like if and or when that comes to pass. So thanks for clearing that up a little bit. Last thing I would ask or suggest before I go is I'm really looking forward. I haven't had a chance to come out to one of the meetups. I'd really like to. And the only suggestion I have for that is if you could do one in El Zonte. I'd really like to go down there, and it'd be awesome if it was with the Celsius community as well.
Where is that? Which state? Sorry.
El Zonte, Bitcoin Beach, basically. This is in El Salvador.
Oh, got it. Okay. No plans right now. We are definitely. I hear you. I mean, it's definitely a hot destination, and a lot of people are moving over there. But I have to, we're still trying to do just our city tour of where we have offices. So we did Tampa, we did Miami, we did. I want to do Atlanta and Austin. So those are the two we're still. We haven't done San Francisco as well. So probably we got to do a few more U.S. and then try to make it out South America.
Awesome, thanks, Alex.
Yep. But to answer your earlier question, again, the Cel token doesn't compete with equity. They have different function, different. So Cel token is much more correlated. Like if you watch the last AMA that I did last Friday, I think I explained in more detail the top utility for Cel token, which is allowing Celsius to benefit or basically ride the coattails of the success of the company. And that is it's directly, the price of Cel token is directly correlated to how many users, right? How much in assets do they have? How much do those assets earn in yield? And then how many of the people choose to earn and sell? That's really the key piece, is that a lot of the growth in this year, 2021, was with US users, and they just couldn't earn and sell, right? They were restricted. So now about half of them will be able to join the rest of the Celsians that are earning and sell. And that's going to fix that problem in the equation that we had this year. So the issue was not that Cel wasn't doing well. The issue was that until we launched earn and sell for US accredited, basically, again, about $10 billion worth of the community assets could not earn and sell, and that's really what was holding back the buy pressure on the Cel token. So that's what we're trying to fix right now. And again, the community decides. The key here is that the community decides what is the price of Cel token. More people earning and sell, obviously, makes Celsius buy more tokens. That's how it works, right? Unlike most other projects where they just go to Treasury and airdrop tokens on you every week, that just increasing circulating supply. That's not what you want. You don't want increasing circulating. So no matter how exciting the project is, again, it doesn't matter if it's Solana or Cardano or Polkadot. What all those people do is just increase circulating supply and telling you how wonderful everything is going to be in the future. Again, Celsius, to get your token, is to go to one of the exchanges, buy it, put it in your wallet. Show me one company that does that. So you can do the math on between the burn and the increase in demand from US accredited. You can actually calculate how much more demand there's going to be. And again, we had Josh and we had Celsians.com and all these other people who used to do all that math for us every week, and now they're all working for Celsius, and no one is doing the math. So we need a new generation of analysts, to come out and kind of, maybe it's somebody on this call, can take the lead, and we definitely want it to come from the outside, not to be published by the company. So just like you like reading this, Seeking Alpha article, right? It's collecting the data, doing analysis on it, and publishing it to share it with other Celsians.
Derek, did that conclude your comments up here on stage?
Yeah, it does. Again, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Next up is Jason. What's going on?
Hey guys. Hi Alex. There's a quick question I got to ask in Discord. Can you give us a time when the next Chainalysis is going to be done? Would you know at all?
Yeah, we normally do it once a quarter, so it's definitely, we should be doing one soon. Probably we'll do one as of end of the year. But a lot of that function is now also available on the proof of community, or so because again, you can verify all the coins, and basically the Bitcoin, how much did we earn, how much went out to community, and so on. Bitcoin is half of our assets, so it kind of covers half of the equation. It doesn't cover the rest of it, but we definitely will be publishing that for kind of end of year numbers.
All right, thank you. I'll let them know.
Yep.
Appreciate everything you do.
Sure, thanks.
Thanks for coming up, Jason. Crypto Lover, you're up next.
Hey, Alex, thank you very much for everything that you do. My question is, do you intend to add a beneficiary feature to the app?
Yeah, so we talked about this several times in the last 2 years. It's not illegal. We cannot actually enforce it, meaning because we have to follow the law. We cannot just say, okay, well, somebody put that name into an app and we're going to give them the money, right? So if for example you forgot to update your app but you wrote a will 2 days after, and we have to follow the will. We cannot follow what you said in the app. So the legal standing of normal process in most countries will be basically making any decisions in the app invalid. So because of that, we don't have that right now. It's not we cannot really, even if we allowed you to put a name there, we can't enforce it, right? We can't follow it because we have to see if you have a will, what's the process with your state, are there any taxes due, stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming up, crypto lover. Oh, dang, you dropped from stage. Cheryl, you're up next.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi.
I have a question just about Florida and swaps in Florida and when we'll be able to use that in Florida.
Zach, you seem to know about this more than me. Where it's restricted.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a specific restriction in Florida, but there may be some users that have access already, and we just haven't gotten to everybody in Florida yet. So just hang tight. We've been doing, and we'll continue to do about 50,000 users a week.
Right. I have emailed a number of times, and I have asked about swaps, and I have asked about everything in Florida, and all I keep hearing is Florida, you can't do it. So I'm accredited. I can't swap. I can't anything in Florida.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me see if I can get more specific information if it's a regulatory issue and what that regulatory issue would be.
I can't buy in OTC. I've asked if I'm able to buy from the OTC. I can't do anything.
Yeah, I knew that was blocked, but the swaps, I didn't think fell under that same issue. But let me see if I can get a straight answer on that, and then I'll DM you on Twitter.
Thank you so much. That's it. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Bye.
Thanks for coming up, Cheryl. Hardy Sailor, you're up next.
Alex, can we get a quasi-firm date on when you think the revival to Bank to the Future IPO is going to happen or something equivalent? I've got to manage my money. I've had quite a bit sitting waiting for this thing. So 22 is coming up. Any idea when we could look forward to that?
It's literally any day. So if it's, I don't know if it's tomorrow or the day after.
Wow.
But any day we should be opening it up. So it's just a matter of a few days.
Oh, that sounds like a nice Christmas present. Late, but welcome. Thank you.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it in before Christmas.
Good. All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming up again, Hardy Sailor. Ruben, I've noticed you're popping up and down from stage, so go ahead and go next.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It just keeps dropping on me, but I appreciate
here.
Yes. Hi, Alex. I just have a couple of questions for you. A gentleman earlier asked about the accredited investor, and I have a quick question about that. I just got my letter from my CPA that I'm an accredited investor, and I was wondering, can I just submit that directly to you guys and get on the list?
Yeah, I think a letter from your accountant is good. Again, if you have, I think if you have 2 million with Celsius, you're automatically accredited. So we're trying to actually, get that done as well, meaning notify people even that are haven't started the process, who's already pre-approved. But if you have less than 2 million, you need to go through the process.
So what's the process if I already have the letter? Can I just send it into Celsius and it's done?
Yeah, you submit it online. Just if you follow that form, just submit it, and they'll let you know in 24 to 48 hours if it's approved.
I'm sorry, which form is that?
If you go to the web app, there is a form. You click on the link, and it asks you a few questions. It will allow you to upload a document.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's only accessible through the web app, right?
Yep, you just log in. It's the same login like your regular app. Just on our website, just so we see on the upper right side says login.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying. Got it. Okay, thank you. And I have another question. I think you talked about it on your AMA once, but I don't remember. I was wondering, I'm kind of setting up an account for my kids, and I was wondering, is it possible to do something like that for them in Celsius?
Yeah, so if you can have multiple accounts, just you use a different email address for each, and just use the same KYC.
Okay, but it would have to be under my name, right?
Yeah, legally, if they're not 18, then it has to be under your name.
Okay, I got you. Okay, and if you do a separate account, would you guys provide a separate like a tax form for each account at the end of the year?
Not sure about the tax form. I think I don't remember. Again, I don't know if Zach or Josh, if you guys know about the 1099. Is it per account or is it?
Yeah, that'd be interesting because if it's the same tax ID, I imagine it would go all to the same person. You'd get different reward statements and everything because it'd be two separate accounts, but I don't know how they would handle the tax implications. It would probably all go on the single tax ID.
Okay, sounds good. And just the last question for you, Alex, just in general, what do you think about the crypto markets right now as it is? Everything seems to be going down. What do you think about that in general?
Well, I tweeted about that 2 weeks ago, saying that we're probably going to go sideways, maybe even down till the end of the year, because I think there's a lot of tax selling. So if you have a lot of profits, for example, in the stock market, and you have some losses in crypto, you want to sell your crypto and buy it back on the first or the second day of the year. Crypto doesn't have the wash rule, so you can sell it, buy it the next day, and take the tax loss, right? So because of that, I think a lot of people are taking advantage of that, and that's just putting temporary pressure on the price of Bitcoin.
Do you think there's a big correlation with crypto and the stock market these days?
Yeah, of course. There's still huge correlation. So it's not, again, crypto is correlated to the stock market, but there are some sports where it's like just running on its own, right? So it can go up 100% in a few days, even though the stock market will just go sideways, and then it will go back and track a stock market at new levels, right? New heights. So you can't miss those few days. That's the problem. That if you try to time the market and sit on the sidelines and you think you're smart, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be out of the market during that period of time, and then you can't catch up anymore. So like if you look at what Celsius does, right? We never take any risk. We never out of the market. It's not like we are trying to time the market or whatever. We deliver the full performance of Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then deliver the yield on top of it. Right? That's what's so special about what we're doing.
Okay, awesome. And then last question for you, regarding the Cel token price. I know in the last AMA we were talking about the three amigos and trying to do something with the Cel token. Do you think the fact that they earn and sell, because I've heard you said there was about 500 accredited investors sign up, is that enough people to kind of help, push up the Cel buying pressure?
500 is just the people that already got accredited. It's not the total number, right? So we're expecting tens of thousands of users, right, to earn and sell. And again, the most important thing is not, like I am one person, right? But I have 300 million on the platform. So the minute I can earn and sell, how much impact do I have, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So the point is not, like I said before, the point is not, is it 200 or 20,000? The point is how many dollars. So we know the total is about 10 billion, right? This is the number of dollars value in coins that Celsians have that are US accredited. So the question is, the piece we don't know is what percentage of those is going to earn and sell. Now we ran a survey. I did a survey on Twitter, like how long ago, Zach? 6 months ago, I think. Or 3 months ago.
Yeah, not even that long. Yeah, I think it might be a month or two at best.
Yeah, if you send me a link, I'll retweet that. Right, just to say, Zach, send me a link if you find it. And basically, half of the people surveyed said we want to earn and sell. So you do the math. Like, so let's say 5 billion is gonna earn and sell. Is gonna switch it on. Say I'm earning and sell, and the average rate, let's say, is 3.5%. That's the average rate across all the coins, right? So do the math. How much more sell buying do we have to do every week? If right?
Yeah, which would also increase the burn as well quite a bit.
That's my point. So it's about about 150, 160 million a year, right?
Yeah.
That's the incremental buy. And we announced how much we bought in 2021. I think we announced it was like 421 million, right? Or something like that. I announced it on one of the AMAs. So this is almost 50% more buying. Just if half of US accredited earn more and sell. So what do you think happens if we're buying 50% more Cel Token every week?
Right. Awesome.
So these are big numbers. It's not. I think most people underestimate. And again, this is not coming from Treasury. This is removing supply, because a lot of this is going out. Right, when we burn, it goes out permanently. When we buy back in Treasury, we bought tokens to Treasury. When we took out this big seller, we had one big seller with like a few million Cel tokens. We took them out, right? That went straight to Treasury. So we increased. You can check that too. You can look at our wallets and see, are the numbers they're decreasing or increasing. That's my point to everybody, right? When you look at Solana or Cardano, you can see their Treasury decreasing every week. It's decreasing in value, not in value, but in total coin. Why? Because they're giving these coins to their community, right? We're doing the opposite. So it needs some time, just like BNB. I remember when BNB started their burn, and everybody was like, nothing's gonna happen. Well, that BNB was $20 back then when they started their burn, $15 to $20.
Right.
Where is it now?
It's $560 right now.
Yep. So do the math. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The closest to sell is BNB, but they don't have they don't have this earning power, right? That they're,
trust me, I'm a
Yeah, and
diehard hodler for Celsius, and in fact, as soon as I get accredited, I'm going to be doing a very large purchase order on it. And I was going to ask you actually. I emailed you, and I'm sure you get a million emails anyway. But I would like to join the Celsius team in some way, shape, or form. I'm not a coder, but I am a successful businessman and an entrepreneur, and I just want to join the team somehow and see if I can help.
Well, we have several hundred job openings right now, right? So both on LinkedIn, on our website. I think best ways to find one of them that you think is where you can help, and either reach out to me or HR at Celsius.network, and CEO at Celsius.network or HR at Celsius.network, and tell us which one of those tasks you wanna fill. I mean, we're up to almost 800 people now, so we're hiring as fast as we can.
That's beautiful. I did send you an email actually, so I know you get a lot.
All right, so I have it. If it's in there,
yep.
I do my own email. So
if you guys ever want to do anything in Colorado, I'm your man.
Yeah, I have one son in Boulder and one daughter in Denver.
Oh, is that right?
College,
I'm in Denver.
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful. I'd love to meet them.
Alex, I sent that tweet to your WhatsApp, and then also the math on that. If 6 billion of those assets choose to earn and sell, we're looking at roughly tripling the amount of sell buybacks each week, from 3 million to 9 million dollars worth. So there really is a huge opportunity if even half of those assets start switching to earn and sell.
Right, and again, the key there is that the community controls the price. People think somehow I control the price, or I see all these stupid tweets of people that don't know anything saying, oh, Celsius is selling tokens, or they're putting pressure on the Cel token because they don't want it to go higher or whatever. Like we don't manipulate the price. The price is determined by the community. Okay, so the price of the token has to do with how many buyers, how many sellers every day, right? More buyers means higher prices. More sellers mean lower prices. So we just need to start activating again. It's January 15th or January 16th, whenever this feature goes live, and you will automatically be earning and sell, right? From that moment on, every week we'll be buying whatever, 1.5x, 2x, 3x, depending on how many people press the button,
Yeah,
right?
I think really what it is people are so used to being abused financially that they're looking for the way that Celsius is trying to screw you, or looking for a way that Celsius is charging you a hidden fee or coming after you. And really, that's not how we operate in any way. But people are kind of expecting that, because that's how everyone else treats them.
Well, look at the founders of Solana or Cardano or you name it. I don't care which project, and look at how many tokens or coins they still have. All right, and compare that to Celsius. Okay, that should tell you everything. So if these guys already dumped on you, and you're so excited about their project, you still have their coins, and they're already dumped. They already left. Some of them are not even in the project anymore. They already left and are doing something else. They're on to the next project, right? So that's what you have to focus on. Like, okay, are the founders still here? Do they hold their tokens, or are they just dumping on me, right? So the three founders bought Cel Token at around $4, whatever, 4.5, whatever the price was, right? I bought some at 5. So that these are the things that matter, right? Don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do, right? And you're excited about the project, this or that project that you think is, again, Celsius has 3 times more uh, assets under management than Solana. 3 times more. Solana is valued at, I think, 50 billion. Celsius is 3 billion or 3.5, whatever is the market cap today. Okay, so you tell me, if we are 3 times bigger than Solana, should our price be 3 times bigger than Solana too? Should it be, the valuation should be 150 billion, or is Solana overvalued?
The other thing too, Alex, with that is what people need to understand is Celsius has a fixed supply, so there's never going to be any more Cel token than what's already out there, the 695 million. So when we talk about things like earning and sell and accredited earning and sell, just keep in mind we have a fixed supply, so there will never be any more. So there's scarcity, and that's very, very important.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with that. It's like I look at all the metrics on Celsius. I mean, you guys have over $25 billion in assets under management. I mean, there's, like Scott said, the token is limited. I mean, the formula is perfect. It should be much higher, like compared to like what you just said, Solana. I guess you
Well,
just
like,
have to pay.
so, and I explained why, right? I explained to you why we were happy to add so many Americans in 2021. It's just that most of them couldn't earn and sell, so that was the main reason why it went sideways in 2021.
Now
Right?
the international users, they can earn and sell right now, right?
Yeah.
And do you guys have a pretty good user base that are earning and selling international?
Yeah, so it used to be 2/3 international and 1/3 US. Now it's 2/3 US and 1/3 international. Now the numbers grew a lot, right? It's not like we just switched them around, right? It used to be whatever, 200,000 users or 300,000 users. Now it's 1.5 or 1.6 million, right? But this wave of adoption happened mostly in the US, right? So the US, a lot of US users jumped into crypto. So we were lucky. We got like 1 million new users, right? They were all Americans.
No, I definitely agree with that. The US is a big game changer. Is it going to be? Do you think that'll change in the future as our earn and sell? Do you always have to be
Well,
an accredited?
so we are planning to focus the 750 million we raised on non-US, right? And so we don't need to get more Americans. We need to get more non-Americans, but obviously we'll continue to add a lot of Americans. So about half of our users are accredited in the US, right? So we just need to let them earn and sell. And again,
And then another,
we don't control it. Users have to show us that they're accredited. We can't automatically, unless you have 2 million with us. So if you're at 1.5 million, go ahead, add a little bit more, and we'll get you pre-approved. If you're much less than that, right, you have to show us. Even if you have $100,000, you show us, here, I have $1 million of assets that are not in my home, including Celsius, right? That's the accreditation requirement.
And a phenomenon we saw last year with user behavior was Cel Token in summer 2020 was 35 cents, 40 cents. And then it went from that to $6.50 at the end of the year. And during that time, we saw users choose more and more to earn and sell as the price went up. So there's definitely a correlation between price action and user behavior that can create this kind of self-reinforcing system and build confidence in the community. And again, I would pitch it to the community as a way to support Celsius and the Celsius community is to earn and sell, right, on part or all of your assets. And it's a way to give back to the other Celsians and help grow this community.
Great, awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you very much for your time, Alex and Zach. Keep doing what you're doing. Let's grow this thing.
Thanks for coming up, Ruben. Celljoy, I know you've been popping up on stage quite a bit. I'll let you go next. Celljoy, if you're trying to speak, unmute yourself. They seem to be having difficulties tonight. Rob,
I see Aaron Bennett. Aaron, you want to come up and say hello to everybody?
I sent him an invite.
All right. So if you guys know, Aaron is doing a weekly recap of the AMA. And he's been doing it now for how long? Like a year at least, right? So for those, for those of you who don't want to watch me yap for like an hour and a half, you can do it in 10 minutes, right? He does a 10-minute recap. And again, we want to support his channel, so he will continue doing it. So I asked Aaron to post his referral code, and any new subscribers or on this call, please, if you want to sign up to Celsius, use Aaron's referral code, so this way we can thank him for all the hard work he's been putting, helping Celsians kind of get up to speed when they don't have an hour and a half to take out of their day to listen to every detail of every AMA.
Hey, Alex, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
This is my first time ever speaking on a Twitter Spaces. Can't believe it.
Well, it's overdue, you know. I saw you in Vegas. You came to see us at the Vegas meetup. So, thanks for showing up there.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great event.
That was an amazing event. And I appreciate the plug for the weekly recaps. Yeah, I've been doing it for, 2 years now. So every week I try to get it out within a day or two of the Friday AMAs. And obviously best to listen to Alex and the team directly. But if you don't have an hour and a half, and if you want to just get the golden nuggets, I'd appreciate y'all to check it out. I'll post it on Twitter. Maybe Alex, you can give it a like or a retweet just to get some.
Yep.
Cool.
And you can follow Aaron. Yeah, just follow Aaron. If you click on his name right here, you can just click the follow button, and you'll be getting his updates as well. He has a lot of other great content, so it keeps you up to speed on what's happening in the crypto community in general, not just Celsius. And obviously a big Celsius fan. So use his referral code, right? We got to keep him in business. We keep losing ambassadors that keep going somewhere else. So Aaron, we either hire you or we get you what do you call it? We get you we're gonna pimp you a ride today. We're gonna pimp you a ride. All right.
Yeah, pimp my code. Pimp my code. There we go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks, Alex.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming up, Aaron. Rob, I believe you're up next.
Hey, Alex, just a quick comment and a question. I finally had a chance to watch the full episode of Brian Rose, the December interview with you on London Real. It's great. Fantastic interview. The October interview was also excellent. Frequently, when my colleagues ask about Celsius and how can they learn as much about it in a short amount of time, the values of the founder, how the operation works, what the goals are, and what the future is for the company. I think that those two videos, the October and the December, are current and are great to forward to people that are looking for this information when there just isn't a ton of time to step everybody through it. So excellent job with those, as all the other interviews. But these really allow you to dig in a little bit more and give some lengthy answers. My question is regarding direct investment. You mentioned about Back to the Future and the equity opportunity. Is the direct investment option still going to happen? Is that still a possibility? I've emailed the people that you've recommended over the past couple of weeks, but I have not heard back from any of them.
Yeah, no, so both the Bank to the Future, like I said, that should go live any day. And if you email our legal team, then they get back to you. I don't know why they're not getting back to you. So, but we're not going to leave you guys stranded. So they might be processing other applications or whatever, so they might be busy. But we're not, not going to leave you in the cold. So
no, that's fine. I'm happy to be patient. I just want to make sure that I, don't wait and then queue up for Bank to the Future, too late if it falls through.
Right. So Bank to the Future is going to have that 99 investor limit. So again, if you're planning to use Bank to the Future, don't wait for us to launch the campaign. Make sure you register right away and get yourself. You need to get accredited with them as well. So, and you got to be ready.
No, I'd prefer to go through you guys.
No, I'm just telling the other people on the call that.
Yep.
Yeah, but if for anyone who applied to our directly to Celsius, just copy me on the email, okay? CEO@celsius.network, and we'll make sure that it gets done.
Oh, I just remembered one last thing. Yes, the Fiat Gateway is the third Amigo, and you've done a great job of updating people on its progress. But I think you're underestimating the effect that that's going to have on the community. I find that the greatest stumbling block to getting people to move assets to Fidelity, unbelievable, to Celsius and out of Fidelity and other banks is that intermediate step with Coinbase, et cetera, that needs to be eliminated. I think you're going to hear a large sucking sound coming out of the banks and Fidelity, et cetera, as soon as this gateway is up and running.
Yeah, no, we agree with you, and that's part of why we're getting so much friction, like both on the compliance side and other parts. Like basically, they're trying to put every roadblock possible to slow us down on that, but we're gonna get it done. So, in the meantime, let's continue to show people how to do it, even if you have to use Coinbase or Fidelity or somebody else.
Thanks so much. Stay safe, man. We need you.
Yep. So copy me on that email. Okay. When you resend it, just add CEO@celsius.network. Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks for coming up, Rob. Next up, Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Alex, the most common comments I got from the community this past week have been Onramps, even more so than swaps. I was quite surprised. So there is a really, really high demand, and everyone is really excited for the Onramps. So greatly looking forward to that. It's going to be a game changer.
Yeah. So both for the states that we mentioned before, problems in certain states like Texas, Florida, others, as well as on-ramps. These are all interconnected issues. So we have a plan. We know exactly how to get there. Just gotta grind through it. Again, just a lot to do, and we're knocking things off the list every day. Just we need to we need to get to the the just gonna get to that finish line, just like we did with Earn in the U.S. Right? Earn Sell in the U.S. It took a while, right, to get Americans to Earn and Sell, and it's a few days away now. So we don't give up. We just keep grinding it in until we get it done.
Rob, thanks again for your questions up here. Pandu, you're up next.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, just two questions for Alex. The first one is that sometime this year you mentioned that you were writing a book. Can you please update us as to how far are you with that book?
So it already has over 200 pages, and the problem is that I was supposed to finish it already, but I don't. I need to read through it again and just add more things. But again, if you guys want me to add quotes or stories or whatever, like just send it to me. I'm definitely looking for additional material or things you think should be in the book, either the name of the chapter or things you want me to cover or whatever, right? So we're always looking for input. I mean, the book is more for the community than for me, right? So and again, it's not a book about me or about Celsius. This is a book about what's happening in finance. Why are we in a very unique environment, very special environment, and help people understand that what's happening right now has not happened since the United States was created. It's a very special, dangerous moment, right? And that's why people have to walk through it in a very, very careful way. It can either end up very well or it can end up very badly. So we need to, every person has to really understand what are the drivers, keep attention to what's happening out there, and make smart decisions to protect themselves. So again, you have some ideas, you want to add things, send it to CEO@Celsius.network. And also, we're doing a Monopoly games. Did you guys see the prototype of the Monopoly game? Anyone likes that?
Yes, and I love Monopoly too. It's such a fun financial game as long as you play by the rules, right? And don't make up your own rules.
Yeah.
But
Well, in Monopoly, you can go to the bank and borrow as much as you want, right? It's kind of like the Fed. It's the same system. So you can learn how the Fed prints money.
Yep.
Okay, my second question is, apart from accredited investors, what needs to happen for the rest of the Americans to start earning in Cel? What needs to happen?
Well, I don't know if everybody can earn and sell. That's not our goal right now. Right now, our goal is to get all the accredited, at least give them access, and to add more international users than American users, right? So we're gonna grow fast or grow aggressively on the international side by marketing and ambassadors and promotions and things like that. And then, so with that, we're gonna increase the demand for Cel. Also, obviously, Celsius X and a bunch of other initiatives that we have. So altogether, basically, again, we need to, as the community grows and more people hold Cel, we also need to create more demand for Cel. And like I said, in 2021, we had this problem with the U.S. We were busy with other things, the fundraising, the scaling, just supporting the growth of 30x in the asset base. So that took a lot of effort out of the team, hiring hundreds of people, right? So we just got distracted, and now our eyes back on the ball. So I think if you believe that, if you understand it, then you can make your own choices.
Okay, and what about the Americans who don't have the accreditation status? Can they earn in Cel?
Right now, you cannot. Even after this whatever January launch, you cannot earn and sell. So you can still buy, sell wherever, but we cannot. Right now, we don't have a solution for non-accredited. So, one day it may be just like you can buy ETFs that track some Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that. Maybe one day they'll make an ETF for Cel Token, and then you'll be able to buy that in your brokerage account, right? So that's the only solution I can think of that is that might work for retail non-accredited.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up on stage, Pandu. Reagan, you're up next.
Thanks, Josh. Alex, I was just wondering, last week we talked about maybe reviewing the Cel tier loyalty system or introducing a cap for number of Cel before you're a platinum. I'm just wondering if there's been any more thoughts or updates on that one. Cheers.
Yeah, so we are definitely doing it with swaps. So if you are, for example, we are increasing, like you'll be able to do more than 25,000 a day if you are a certain status, but you're gonna have to have at least, I don't remember if it's 1,000 or 2,000 Cel tokens to qualify for that. So we're gonna put a minimum threshold in addition to being platinum. So it's platinum plus you must have at least X coins, tokens, sorry, to qualify. So we are basically going to attach minimums to additional to this new utility that we're adding, different utility. And obviously, swap is a great example of a really, really powerful and useful utility that if you want to use it heavy every day, you'll need to have more Cel token to basically use it in full strength. But right now we're doing close to like 2 million a day in swaps, and obviously we haven't opened, we maybe open 10% of the total users. So we're gonna have very large daily volume through the swap program, which will drive also, again, I think will drive demand for Cel token because a lot of these people are gonna want to be qualifying for the higher tiers.
Okay, that's awesome. Also, just while I'm up, there's a user in the chat, which is his name's the Coloured Sky. He does a recap of the Twitter Spaces as well. So if anyone sort of misses out or can't get these, just follow the Coloured Sky, and he does a great little recap, sort of the same as Aaron does for the YouTube AMA. So just thought I'd drop that in there as well. Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, you heard it here, Aaron. You have competition. Now that the Aaron's competition is definitely not dropping off. You'll be like, oh, I gotta beat that guy, So that's why competition is good. But send if you can post this link somewhere or send it to me. That just DM it or whatever, so we can have it as well. We want to support all of our ambassadors, and I'm sure Scott will find a way to. Scott, you gotta help these guys, the guys that create this content. Let's help push their. Again, referral code, get them some subscribers. That's what we're here for. Support the community.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, they're a very, very important part of what we do. So, yeah, much props to them.
Especially when since we are hiring most of them. So whoever is left is like last of the Mohicans,
You're exactly right. I hired 3 myself.
Thanks for coming out, Reagan. Next up is M. Riddle.
Hi. Thanks, Josh. A question for Alex. I wanted to get some understanding about the yields on the stable coins because, they dropped from 10% to 8.5, and earlier they were 8.88, and we, broadcasted we are paying double digits up to 10%, and Tushar and you were saying you could deploy another $1 billion of stable coins. There was a lot of demand. So can you add some color what's going on? And I also see there is a lot of volatility in Bitcoin price between 46K and 52K. So I just don't understand why there is a drop in the yield.
Yeah, so yields go up and down based on demand. So again, our campaign was actually too successful. We had several $100 million show up very, very quickly, and we ended up with, again, too much in stable coins because, again, the market also turned. So when the markets crash or start going down, there's less demand for stable coins. So the price, the yield is dictated by the market, not by us. We just publish the price. So it went up, then it went down, right? That's what happens. Tomorrow it will turn again. It may go up again. It may go down even lower. So we don't promise. We only promise rates for 1 week, and every week we publish the number, and it either stays the same or it goes up or it goes down for all of our coins, all the supported coins. So it's not, if you came to Celsius saying to yourself, I'm going to earn 10.02% for life, then you don't understand how the Celsius system works, right? And anyone that gives you a rate that doesn't change, no matter what the market price does, you have to ask yourself, can you trust them? The market is going up, the market is going down, they have the same rate, right? Is that a good system? You think that's a reasonable system, or you think something's wrong in that formula? So also, again, right now the rate in Cel token is over 10%. So if you are earning in Cel, you are earning more than 10%, right? So you just got to go to your profile and flip from earning kind to earn and Cel on stablecoins if you're not outside the US.
Okay, but yeah, I understand. You're paying the market rate, what's going on. But I thought you had multiple streams of revenue, like lending to institution, mining Bitcoin, and all that
That's right.
together.
But all these things together still are bound by the market, right? So it's not, you know, it's not like we are, just because we have multiple stream of income that. And again, look, we kept the rate higher longer than anyone else. I think other people lowered the rates weeks, if not months, before Celsius, right? So we were the highest rate for quite some time, and so that is what the market bears today. Again, it's not the minute I think the markets turn. Like, you have to wait and see. Like the first or second week of January, if the markets turn, then demand for stable coins is going to come back, and then we may raise the rate again. It doesn't mean we're not going to raise it. It just means right now there's less demand. We got to match how much we received. Again, hundreds of millions of dollars versus how much demand there is for borrowing stable coins.
Okay.
We still pay 100 times more than your bank, right?
Yeah, definitely. No
So that's what
doubt
you
about that.
focus on. It's if you get greedy and you want an extra 1% or an extra half of 1%, just remember how much your bank pays you, and say thank what you're getting, instead of trying to get a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to understand because I thought
Yeah.
that, the factors were good enough. Like, but I guess the more driver is if the overall market is trending down, the demand for stable coins goes less. So thanks for that clarification.
Yep.
I had another question about the Bitcoin mining. So what does Celsius do with those Bitcoins that are mined? Are we hodling that, or do you sell time and again? What percentage? Because we don't see any stats around that.
Yeah, so we'll be making an announcement in January about the mining, but right now, again, we invested $500 million, right? So we have to first get the 500 million back, so we pay off all the loans. So right now, since we started mining last year, earlier this year, basically everything went back to just repay the loans. We paid the 500 million. But we're making a big announcement in January. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up, Emerald. Jimmy, you're up next.
Yeah, how you doing, Alex? I sent you a DM on December 9th about swaps and trying to get it enabled. You asked for my email and you never really replied after that, so I'm just trying to follow up with that. Thanks.
Yeah, what state are you based in?
Louisiana.
Okay. I think I forwarded to Wasim to check on it. So I don't know what we have to see what happened. But you applied. Are you on the waiting list for that, or where are you on?
Yes, I did apply for it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's actually now. It's not Wasim. There's a different guy actually handling it. Zach, right? In Oren's team. So maybe Jimmy, if you can DM Zach, he'll find the right person to send it to because we have like a dedicated team that's just working on accreditation.
Yeah, and we can't guarantee that you'll get swaps like this week or next week. They're going by a certain rollout, but and get your information and forward it on.
I understand. Thank you so much.
But we're committed to giving it to everybody who qualifies. So the only reasons you're not going to get it is again if your state has some restrictions, if your personal information doesn't match the state you're in or the data that you gave us. Like if we can't verify your identity or the driving license or whatever, right? Then you're not going to be opened up. You know that those are the things that are going to block you. So normally we'll give you hints in your profile. Like if you go to your profile, it will say social security doesn't match, or it will say whatever driving license expired, right? And that's if you have any of those things pending, you will not get swaps. We cannot give you swaps unless we have all that information up to date. So again, I'm talking to everybody, not just Jimmy, right? So just if you really want the swap service, make sure you're up to date. You'll save us a lot of time, save you a lot of time.
Jimmy, did that conclude your questions and comments up here?
Yes, sir, it did. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. El Contador, you're up next.
Yeah, thank you for letting me have a question. This question is for Alex. While we were talking about stablecoins, is there any chance you guys gonna list UST stablecoin?
USD is listed for non-US, so it's only blocked for US users. So we're waiting for either the SEC or somebody else to tell us that this is not a security, and then we'll make it available for US users. But it's available, it's in the wallet right now for non-US.
Wow, that's great. Thanks, man. That
Yep.
was my question.
Sure.
Thanks for joining us up on stage. While we have a lull here in questions, Alex, I remember at the beginning of 2021, your projection for 2021 that was going to be that we would have an AUM of 4 billion. We obviously far exceeded that. What are your thoughts on 2022 going forward?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if we launch everything next year, we should be able to hit 100 billion. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't. I mean, unless Bitcoin crashes or something else happens, I think we will hit 100 billion by the end of 2022.
Wow. So just judging by what you said in 2021, maybe we should consider it being 200 billion.
So if we imagine we go from 1 billion to 100 billion, right? So we go 100x in AUM, but the number of Cel tokens stays the same. So what happens to Cel token if it's the same number of Cel token, but we've grown 100x in AUM?
It would be less Cel token because of the burn.
And there's going to be less Cel token, right? So the community is going to be much bigger, right? Earning and Cel is not going to change. Everybody's going to still earn and Cel, and we're going to have to go to market and buy all that Cel. So Just do the math in your head. It's very simple math. That's why, again, we're not in a hurry. We know where it's going. You know what's happening, right? We can see the numbers every day, every minute. We publish the numbers every week, right? Zach reads the numbers every week on the AMA. He gives you a hint every week about how many people we're adding, how much in assets, what's the AUM, right? Again, verified several different ways. Just went through scrubbing with the investors, right? Scrubbing everything that has to do with Celsius before we raise this huge amount of money. And we plan to spend all that money. This is not money we just put in the bank, right? We plan to spend all the money to grow the community. So we want to grow the community at least 10x, right? So we want to we're going now from 1 million to 10 million users, and we haven't pressed any of those buttons yet, right? Right now we're just hiring the team, the marketing team and the product team and growth team. You saw Tushar talk about it in the last AMA, right? He talked about the 3 different parts of his team, and again, he needs like 20 people for each one of those 3 parts. It's about 60 people just for the marketing team, right? So just again, we want to beef up. We already finished setting up the call center. I think everybody, like that's one important piece. We want to make sure we can support all these people, right? So we have the marketing team. We have other parts that we got to crank up. Obviously, developers, so we can deliver some product, and then we're gonna do another 10x.
Sounds amazing.
695 million tokens, right? And going down.
And decreasing, that's right. Thank you for answering my question, Alex. I can't wait. Been here the whole time. Derek, you're back up. What's your question?
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, something I forgot to ask when I was on the up before, and forgive me if this is something you guys have addressed before. I was listening to a podcast with Greg Foss and Jeff Booth. These guys are pretty well-respected guys within the Bitcoin community regarding their work. They brought up something I hadn't considered before, which is the risk of a gamma squeeze in Bitcoin. Basically, if rather than the risk of a downside event, what happens in the risk of an upside event? And their general consensus was to take your Bitcoin off of exchanges and potentially off of lending platforms. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to what you guys, assurances, you guys might have in place to protect, Bitcoin that may be spoken for with a paper contract through, either a market maker or whomever else you guys might be lending to. Thanks.
Yeah. So there's two elements. So one is the gamma, which again, if you're familiar with for a lot of people that's probably Greek. These are Greek letters, but I'm making a joke. It's you have alpha, right? Alpha is how much you're outperforming the market. You have beta. Beta is normally the market performance itself. And then you have a bunch of other Greeks, not going to get into all of them, but basically all of them represent mathematical performance or exposure or risk elements of different either indexes or elements of the market. So if you have you can get into a gamma squeeze if you are creating synthetic assets. So let's take an example, right? When you trade on platforms like a lot of these offshore exchanges that give you, I don't know if you've seen people, there's all these exchanges that say, come to this and that exchange, we'll give you $2,000 to start trading or $5,000 to start trading, right? And you think like, wow, free money, let me go and trade there, right? You're trading against the house. You're trading against the exchange itself, not against somebody else. It's not like you're buying coins or leverage in the market. Basically, the exchange in most cases just issues to you synthetic assets, right? These bitcoins don't exist. The Ethereum does not exist. You are basically just trading a derivative against the exchange that is denominated in Bitcoin. And what happens is if suddenly Bitcoin rips, let's say some news breaks out and Bitcoin, like the next trade, instead of 50,000 is 150,000, right? And then you want to withdraw those assets. No exchange in the world will have that money just sitting idle, because they actually, again, all these offshore exchanges are creating synthetic Bitcoin. It's not real Bitcoin. These are not blockchain transactions, right? So these are the things you have to worry about, right? The exposure that financial players take and the reputation of these financial players, right? Do they have a balance sheet? Are they going to be there tomorrow morning, right? Are they a long-term players, or they're just trying to milk you for your money, right? So as long as markets go sideways or a little bit up, a little bit down, these people just wait for you to get liquidated, and they make all their money on that. They make their money no matter if the market goes up or down. Sooner or later, because you take so much leverage, statistically they're going to win, right? But if there's a gap, if there's a huge gap, and suddenly everybody wins, right? Everybody who was long wins 100x or 50x, and they all try to withdraw their money, that company or that platform is just going to go out of business overnight. They're not going to give anybody their money. There's just not enough money. It doesn't exist, right? So just because some exchange has fancy name or a fancy website, or their name is on some stadium, or they're giving you $6,000 for free, doesn't mean anything about the solvency or about their practices or legality of what they're doing or anything else, right? So those are the elements that you have to understand. And again, what Celsius does is we do not lend. If you're a short seller or if you're a leverage buyer, we don't lend to you. That's not our business, right? That's too risky for Celsius. It's too risky for the community. Again, remember, I have a few $100 million here. I don't want to lose my few $100 million, right? So we rather earn less and do basically safe and sound practices than go aggressively and try to, like sometimes you see in DeFi people offering 200% or 70% yield. These are not real yields. That's inflation. Okay, again, they're showering tokens on you, right? So as long as new people are showing up, then there is yield, fake yield. But if everybody tries to withdraw their money at the same time, that token is worth zero, absolute zero, right? Because it doesn't create any value. There's no, like at Celsius, we have an institution paying us interest. No one is paying you interest on the other side in any of these other platforms, right? That are just promising you yield because of them inflating their tokens, printing more tokens. So all these things, again, you don't have to be a PhD in economics. You don't have to understand any of these things. You just have to ask yourself, okay, can I manage it, or do I want to trust somebody else to manage it for me? That's really the main thing that we're doing. And again, out of over 1,000 platforms out there, we're only probably running on about 15 different platforms that we think are solid. And again, we lend to less than 300 institutions that we think are credit worthy. And even if Bitcoin rips higher, even if it goes up by 200%, nothing's going to happen. And we went through that. Bitcoin went from 10,000 to 67,000. That's almost a 7x increase in just a few weeks. We didn't have that increase. Did not cause anyone to default or anyone to, any of our counterparties to get in trouble or delay their payments or whatever. So we already had that's a gamma squeeze right there, right? And that happened earlier this year. So we already tested, like for all these people who are saying, "Oh, what happens if?" Well, we just went through it. We went through it on May 2021. We went through it on March 2020 when we had both ways. We had a flash crash, 60% drawdowns, and a 6x or 7x increase in 1 year, right? So Celsius platform was tested both ways. And again, we raised our round after all these things happened. So again, you have to ask yourself, how come Nexo, for example, never raised a round of funding? How come they don't really publish any of their financials, right? So all these things matter, and you have to really be careful about who you trust. What are their, what is their business? Who do they lend to? Is there transparency? Was there external validation? What does their balance sheet look like? And these are simple questions that you can just ask, right? How many times were you hacked? It's a very simple question. You can ask any of these counterparties and say, it doesn't matter if it's an exchange or a platform or whatever, right? You either solid or you're not solid. It's very simple.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. I think what they were specifically referring to is this idea that I think somebody did the math that Bitcoin's being drained off exchanges at a rate of about 100,000 Bitcoin per month, which would give it somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 to 24 months before it was gone, assuming that trend continues, which it maybe is not a great assumption, but the idea would be if there was, basically instead of forced selling, there was forced buying, and there was no liquidity. The question would become, and they didn't say it explicitly, but certainly it was sort of subtext or understood that, hey, one of the big guys might actually have problems, like a Coinbase or FTX or something like that, that they may not actually have a one-to-one holding of Bitcoin or any other token.
I know. So that's what I just said. I when I'm talking about synthetic assets, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I don't think it's Coinbase. I think Coinbase is legit and they're doing everything by the books. But some other exchanges are definitely not. Again, they're creating synthetic assets. What does it mean, synthetic asset? It's not a real Bitcoin. They didn't. When you told them, buy 10 Bitcoin, they didn't go to market and bought 10 Bitcoin. They just synthetically created them and put it on some ledger. Derek, you have 10 Bitcoins. They don't exist. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Right? So we don't know which exchanges are synthetic, their assets are synthetic, and they're just playing the market, hoping that they're not going to get into that gamma squeeze, and which ones are actually buying and settling their books and netting off and doing all the things they're supposed to be doing. Now, Celsius' job, our job, is to provide liquidity to markets. We have 115,000 Bitcoin, and that's what we do. We provide liquidity into many markets, right? Exchanges is one of our large customers, or exchanges, right? So it's our job to remove coins from exchanges and then lend them back and charge a fee instead of you giving it to them for free. That's what we do. That's exactly our function. That's how we create yield.
Yeah, understood. Thanks.
So
That makes me feel a little bit better.
When there's a gamma squeeze, the exchanges will be paying multiples of what they're paying now for
Right,
that
yeah.
for that Bitcoin. It's great for us.
Yeah, it's favorable for us, and it's going to continue too, because if you have a Bitcoin, you're going to want to earn that yield. And if exchanges aren't offering yield, it's very easy for users to move those Bitcoin off exchanges. And I think that's definitely why we've seen that exodus over the last year accelerate, is because everyone says, hey, wait a second, I can move my coins over to Celsius and get 6% on those. And where do you think these 120,000 Bitcoin came from that we have? The majority came from exchanges.
Our number one source of coins, Bitcoin, is Coinbase. Our number two is Binance. That's where all the coins are coming from for Bitcoin.
Hey, Alex, wondering if I could hop in and ask a question about credit cards.
Sure.
So I was looking into the Crypto.com credit card yesterday, and it looks pretty enticing. But I know you guys are coming out with a credit card, and I am partial to Celsius. I really like what you guys are doing. I know a couple people who work with you, and I'm wondering if you think I should wait for the Celsius card And also, I was wondering if I could kind of talk to you about the Crypto.com card and what I don't like about that. So maybe we can like do some community thinking about the Celsius card if it's not already set in stone.
Well, so again, I think there's different cards in the market, and each one of them performs a different function. We're not necessarily like, I think Crypto.com is just trying to get people to hold CRO, right? So they are trying to create artificial demand for CRO. It did very well, but again, they need more. They need an army of new people to come and buy CRO and lock it up for whatever 90 days, 180 days, or whatever, and hope that it's not going to drop during that period, right? So all the benefits are based on nothing happening to CRO, because if you got, I don't know, 6% rewards, but CRO dropped 20%, obviously you're not ahead, you're behind on, you lost money overall, right? So until now, because they had a big surge and they spent all this money on marketing and so on, there's enough new people coming in. But every month, it's just a broken model. You understand? Like every month, you need more and more new people,
Right.
and it
It
just,
kind of looks like a Ponzi scheme,
yeah,
especially because
there's not
yeah,
enough people. There's not enough people on the planet to feed that system. You understand?
right.
So the longer you wait, the higher the risk that you will be buying or adding those CROs at locking them in and not getting your money back. Right? That's really the problem. So the main difference between Crypto.com and Celsius is that we have a sustainable business model. Our business model is based on more users giving us more assets, and we're earning more yield. So Crypto.com doesn't have yield. They don't earn yield. They don't lend out. That's not their business, right? Their business is to charge you fees on everything possible. And on the credit card, they're charging the merchant fees, not you, right? You not charge. I mean, you are charged fees when you switch currencies and all kind of other stuff. I think they're offering, what is it, 60 days free of fees, and then they start charging you fees. So, again, our focus is to create a different card that solves different problems, not try to compete with Crypto.com. I'm happy to compare notes and make our program better. Again, we're gonna launch a basic card that just the basic stuff, and then incrementally add to it, and make it definitely. Obviously our goal is to make it the card that gives you the most benefit compared to anybody else. And benefit for us means, again, it helps you get out of debt and get you to financial freedom. All these other cards are trying to get you to spend as much as possible, get you into as much debt as possible. They only make money if you get into more debt. Their business model is based on that. Let's get the person to have the largest balance possible, and or charge as much as possible, so we can charge the merchants fees and the user fees, and hopefully they use different currencies, so we can charge currency translation fees and all kind of other stuff, right? So one way or another, it all translates into fees, right? Which is not our business model.
Yeah, that's really refreshing to hear. I was worried that you guys were just going to use Cel Token as a method for um, enticing people to get higher tiers for the Celsius card, when that's kind of a problem because you can't buy Cel Token without being an accredited investor. I personally actually bought like $20,000 worth of Cel at like $5 or something, but I hadn't realized that I needed to be an accredited investor to get the benefits. So I mean, do you? And by the way, I've launched my own token before, and I know that it's really challenging to work with the SEC. Do you have any information about um, when and if Celsius rewards can benefit people in the United States who are not accredited?
Again, we're working on it. We don't have a plan right now for non-accredited is an issue. I mean, if tomorrow the SEC decides that none of these things are securities, then great. Then everybody's in the same camp, right? But right now, I think you can see the SEC is very aggressive at enforcing what they think is what is a security and what is not. And so I think until there's clarity, we cannot, until, for example, either XRP wins at court, or the SEC issues new guidance, or somebody else, some other regulator or Congress issues new laws, right? Until then, retail is going to be treated differently, right? If you're not accredited, you're going to be on a hold pattern until there's clarity.
Yeah, totally understand. And then, kind of unrelated to Celsius, maybe just a quick question for you. Do you know a good country to launch a cryptocurrency token from, where there's less regulation and less scrutiny from their government, in terms of allowing people to invest?
Well, again, if you're American, the laws apply to you no matter where you are. So the point is, you gotta block the service to non-US, right? So you have to block US users from using your token. That's really the key. So it matters less which country you do it from, and more that you're basically, to be compliant, you block the United States and all of its users.
Gotcha. Okay.
But Portugal is a good place. I mean, Portugal has no taxation on crypto, and so if you establish a company there and you do a launch and you block it to US, you're doing good.
Gotcha. And then, just while I'm up here, I was wondering if I could shoot my shot and ask if I could pitch a startup idea I have to you, maybe like in the DMs or something later.
I'm not really involved in any other projects, so I can try to refer you to somebody, but not I'm not investing or doing any other startups.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us up here, Will. Reagan is loading. Hopefully, there we go. Reagan, go for it. Reagan.
Hey, Josh. Sorry, Twitter's absolutely horrible today. I was just wondering, in regards to the difficulties with the US versus worldwide, and how some other companies have, I mean, maybe Binance as an example, how they've got Binance, worldwide, and then Binance US. Has Celsius ever thought about sort of further splitting the two, and sort of having two different sort of front end products with a pooled sort of back end?
Well, you have to think of Celsius as Celsius US. We just never had the offshore illegal version. You understand? So what Celsius has is only the legal version in each country. So what we didn't do is create these offshore entities that supposedly were somehow immune from US or European laws or Australian laws or whatever. So we are compliant in Australia. We're compliant in London. We're compliant in every country where we are in. So we don't have to create that. That's how we created from the beginning.
Okay, that's good. That's right. Also, since it's 29th of, well, here anyway, 29th of December, in 12 months' time, what do you think we'll be talking about in 12 months' time? You've already said you had a guess on the AUM of Celsius. Where do you think Bitcoin will be in 12 months, and what do you think we'll be talking about on the Twitter Spaces AMA regarding Celsius in 12 months?
I think, again, I think we'll have a run up in Bitcoin. I'm still holding my 140 to 160K prediction. I think we're gonna go down after that, so we're probably gonna end the year probably below 100,000. Revisiting that, whatever, 70, 80, 90,000 levels. And again, it doesn't matter for Celsius. For Celsius, we're going to be adding millions of users. We're going to be adding billions in assets. Volatility is good for Celsius. Our business plan is based on volatility, and we chose the most volatile asset class there is to earn this yield, right? That's why the model works. So So not worried about this at all.
That's all good. Well, just last quick comment I just got to make regarding Cel Token as well. Just sort of for anyone that you know, at the moment, if you have the ability to earn in Cel, when it's suppressed, it really is the best time to earn in it. You know, you get, if you've got something like Luna or Matic that are doing really well and Cel is suppressed, and you believe.
I think he's having difficulties there.
Yeah, I was just gonna confirm that with you guys. Did Reagan cut out?
Yeah.
I'll finish the sentence. So basically, what he was saying is that when Cel token price is low, and you have other coins ripping, like Matic, for example, right? You're getting more Cel in coin terms, in token terms, right? You're getting more Cel. So the fact that Cel price is low is actually good for you because you're getting twice as many Cel tokens as you would get if Cel was at $8. So if you're a long-term believer, right? If you're saying, okay, I know that these numbers are going to get higher and higher and higher, number of users, number of AUM, total AUM, and so on. Then getting in the interim, getting paid twice as much is definitely a good thing for you, right? So it's just a question of what's your time frame. Like if you're really short-term thinking and you want to be in and out, basically buy and sell in the same month, then obviously it matters a lot. But if you're a long-term thinker, then all the people who were earning in Cel when Cel was 5 and 10 and 15 cents obviously are laughing their way to the bank right now. So they were not sitting there scratching their head saying, oh my god, I should get rid of this token because it's moving sideways. So that's really the crux of the matter, is really, do you believe in the business model? Do you think it's the company is acting in your best interest? Is it going to grow? Is it going to do well? Does it have a good business model? And it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing, right? Because if you have a solid business model, it's going to survive everything. If you have a bad business model, doesn't matter how much hype there is around your project, sooner or later gravity will apply and will bring all those prices back to earth.
Yeah, a funny story. When I first met Josh, it was after Alex's first AMA, actually, just before Thanksgiving in 2019. And we were talking about the price action, and Josh was saying, "Oh, it's at 6 cents now, but I think it's going to revisit 3 cents before I buy some more or whatever." And then you had other people that had been earning in Cel and saying, "Hey, I'm going to buy Cel because I believe in the company, and I'm going to earn in Cel." And again, we're doing it, 4, 5, 6 cents, and that worked out really well for them. And it's an interesting way to accumulate tokens if you believe in the company and the community long term.
I feel like you always got to roast me, Zach. You
It
always got to
was
roast me.
classic.
Thanks, man. Next up is Roaming.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. Hey, so I'm trying to put my head around what is the difference between Cel and CRO. How come I'm able to buy CRO on, in being here in the U.S., I'm able to buy it on Coinbase, right? But you can't buy Cel tokens.
So it really has to do with how aggressive or how much risk projects are willing to take. And this is not just crypto.com, it's also Coinbase, right? So both crypto.com and Coinbase are basically saying, look, we're not worried that the SEC is right. We think the SEC is wrong. and our token is not a security, and nothing bad is going to happen to us, right? So that's the, and you can see obviously the SEC is in a fight with Coinbase, right? Over exactly these practices. So they already issued a shot over the bow for Coinbase, saying, "Hey, stop these practices. You cannot sell people, Dogecoin and all kind of other stuff, and pretend like these are not right." I mean, the SEC is upset that Coinbase is selling all these assets to retail, to unaccredited investors. So Celsius is trying to build a long-term business. We're trying to stay compliant. We, like USD as an example, right? We take a very conservative look on USD, right? Not listing it, not giving it access, not earning yield for Americans. It's obviously much easier for us to just open it up, and it's one of the best performing tokens out there. Great, let's crank it up. Let's shill it to everybody possible. But if you really care for the community and you don't want them to get in trouble with the SEC, then you don't list it. So that's the difference between us and all these other guys who just want to charge fees. You understand? We don't make money on fees. We don't have a trading business. So Coinbase must add these coins, including CRO, because they need the volume. They want to trade. They want to show Wall Street that they can make more money, right? And to do that, they have to list all these assets and increase the volume, the trading volume on all of them, right? And show people, okay, here, I'm earning more on all these coins. Doesn't matter if they're, if the SEC thinks that they're securities or not securities. That's the difference. So
Okay. So what I'm
it's
hearing is there's no difference except the approach that Celsius is taking and the other companies are taking, right? In terms of how Celsius is playing it safe and treating Cel as a security, and the other
when
guys are just
when
taking chances.
when Judgment Day comes, and it's going to come soon, some people are going to be treated very well, and some people are going to be treated very badly. You understand? So you have to understand that this is not. You can't be dancing around the fire this close and not get burned. Sooner or later, you're going to get burned. We just choose not to get close to the fire. So, like next year, when all these decisions are made, you will see that Celsius and the Cel Token are going to be treated very differently than all these different actors who were basically behaving in a way that the SEC looks at and says it's not legal. It's not following the rules of the United States of America.
That's great to hear. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. I just wanted to confirm to make
We
sure.
don't need, look, we don't need the Coinbase listing or the Binance listing to do well. We don't need it. I know a lot of people want me to list everywhere, and they just, because all they're thinking about is how do I get Cel Token to $10, right? So we have a business model that, again, more users, which is obviously we're getting more users. We haven't had a negative week since we launched the project, right? In terms of users, right? More assets. We publish the numbers every week. You can see how many negative weeks we had in 4 years. Okay, it's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks that were negative, right? So more users with more assets always equals more yield. We've never had a week where we had less yield than the week before in absolute terms, right? So more yield means us having to pay more to the community. Now the question is just how many people in the community earn and sell. That's a piece where there was a problem, right? Because again, too many Americans were not earning and sell. Okay, as of January 16th, all that's going to be changing very, very quickly, right? So that's what matters. And you'll see that in our weekly numbers. You'll see it immediately. You'll see it in how many we're buying. You'll see it in the burn. You'll see it in volumes. You'll see it everywhere. So our model does not require. I know it's hard for people to understand because everybody else does require to be listed on Coinbase and listed on Binance and shill it on all the channels and promise you that we're going to the moon every week. We don't need any of that stuff, right? And this every scenario, the gamma squeeze, every scenario plays in the strength of Celsius. Now it doesn't play against us. It plays for us. It makes us stronger, makes us more valuable, makes our inventory much more powerful, right? We're already kingmakers, right? We decide which projects make it and which projects don't make it today with our liquidity, right? So we just need to keep doing what we're doing.
Romy,
Yep.
did that conclude
That's
your?
great. Yeah, because this is exactly why I came to Celsius and hold, my money here, right? I want to make sure it's safe, it's legal, and everything is done the right way. So that's why I'm here. So that's good to hear. Um, I have one more question. Is regarding for the on ramp. So for the on ramp, does it work like how you do it on like the other platforms like Coinbase, where you have an ACH setting to your bank, and then you would pull your USD, US dollar, right? And it would sit on Celsius, and then once it's on Celsius, then you can convert it to whatever form you want via swaps. Um, is that how it would work? So then you would have, Celsius would actually hold the US dollar.
We don't touch dollars, right? So the service providers we work with, like Wire or others, again, all of this is available in the app right now. You don't have to wait for swaps. We have, or Onramps. We have an Onramp right now. It's just not very user friendly. But if you're willing to do double KYC, you can go and bring money from your bank, either in Europe or in the United States, and that is converted into stable coins, and then those are put into your account, and you can swap that into any other asset you want without any fees. If it's easier for you, instead of using that, you can go to Coinbase and just do the switch from fiat to stable coins over there and ship it over. So whatever
That's
works best.
yeah, I've been just buying it on Coinbase, and that's how it works. You transfer the US dollar first,
Yep. But I'm
then
saying you can do that in the app as well.
yeah.
You just have to try it, right? You
So
can do it in
via
the app. All we're doing is we're eliminating the double KYC. We're eliminating some other friction, so you can connect your account and with a click move the money over, and it appears as stable coins in your account same day or next day. So
okay,
we
so it
make
would you
it
had
smoother.
to be a stable coin, right, to buy into.
Yep, you will be getting USDC in your account.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. All right, guys. So it's time. Thanks for joining, and again, thanks for the team, Josh, Scott, Zach, everybody else who's helping us put this together every week. And again, we have a lot of stuff the team is working on, a lot of announcements, and we look forward to launching all these services and getting everybody in the community to benefit from them. And just remember, again, we're only as strong as the community is. So we're relying on all of you. We don't spend much money in marketing or advertising, right? We rely on the community to tell your friends, your family about the benefits of Celsius, and we rather pay you all that money in interest, in yield, than put our name on some stadium and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on that. So if you believe in what we're doing, then please share it with your family and use your promo code. You get $50, they get $50. I'd rather give it to you than give it to Google or Facebook or some other multi-billion-dollar company. So we've had this for quite some time, right? I think we still have the best deal in crypto, where both you and the other person gets $50 each. And also, now with the year end, with all the holidays and everything else, we have our best promos on loans. You can get up to $75 to take a loan, right? And takes just a few minutes to take a loan, and you'll pay less interest. It's instant. Just try it out. You'll be shocked at how fast and efficient the loan Onramps are. We already have full loan Onramps. That's finished, and it's live, and it's it's been working very, very well for tens of thousands of users who've taken loans with us. And I'll see you on Friday. I'll see you at the AMA, and hopefully again we'll share the roadmap for Cel Token and a few other updates. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. See you then, Alex.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
As you may or may not know, myself, Scott, and Zach work very hard to run all these rooms for you guys almost every day of the week. Also, there is Celsius Bro and South Texan that also help. So make sure you're following them as well. Kyle, sorry we didn't get to your question. I was trying to, but next week just pop right up and I'll get you to the front of the line. Hope you guys got something out of tonight. If you weren't able to participate, just jump in on the next one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Yeah. Have a great night, everyone.